Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we'll give people just a few seconds to find their seats. I'm Niklas Blomberg, the Executive Director of Innovative Health Joint Undertaking, so IHI. And so it's really nice to see you here for this brokerage event. And I'd like to give an extra warm welcome to actually close to 500 people who are online today, or registered for online. So it's a hybrid event, and we'll try to make our absolute best to give a good experience to everyone's joining, regardless if you're online or on site. But really, before we get started with all the networking, with the pitches, the discussions, I just want to take a few minutes reflecting about why we're piloting this applicant-driven call in IHI. And so far in IHI, we've launched 8 calls for proposals. It's about 30 topics, and we have in total maybe 23 projects right now. We have also projects in grant agreement preparation and getting ready to launch. And all of the projects to date, if you want, we've developed with a top-down approach. We've looked at the strategic research agenda with our partners through the ideation, with our scientific advisory board. We have set out quite specific topics and then asked you, the community, to respond to these topics. But we thought there will be a lot of untapped opportunities in the broad scope of an innovative health initiative in Europe, in a public partnership for health innovation. And we know that there are a lot of organizations that aren't part of our community yet. And so we thought we wanted to do something quite different for Call 9. And this is what we have labeled the applicant-driven approach. And so this time we are not setting out the challenges. We're not telling you what topics you should be working on. For Call 9, we're really asking you to think about what are the opportunities to build large collaborations and transform European health research within the scope of IHI and aligned with the strategic objectives of our research agenda. And so we hope that this applicant-led approach really will help us to get some new ideas, explore areas of health research and care that we haven't been looking at so far, and to bring in organizations that we haven't had as part of the community and partnered with earlier. So really, I think today and tomorrow is an opportunity to start to forge these collaborations and reach out and find new partners in new areas. And so what does it actually mean to be aligned with Innovative Health Initiative and our strategic research agenda? So the projects that we are running and our philosophy, I think the first thing to remember, it is an ambitious, large, cross-sectorial, public-private partnership. We don't run projects that public partners can do alone. We don't run projects that the industry can do alone. We think of our program almost like a DNA double helix. On one strand, we have industry, and on the other complementary strand, we have actors from academia, from healthcare, from research, from civil society, from patient organizations. And a good project in IHI is a public-private partnership and makes these two strands come together, forming the right hydrogen bonds. I think that the second part of IHI, we are meant to serve unmet public health needs, but we do that by addressing problems from the entire spectrum. So it is absolutely in scope of IHI to work on early, say, discovery research, disease mechanisms, understanding if you can target diseases with completely novel modalities or novel treatment mechanisms. It is also perfectly fine and in scope to work right at the interface of care and trying out new ways of working in conjunction with industry, with patient organizations, with healthcare system, and piloting implementation into healthcare system. And we don't have favorite children. All of that is in scope of IHI. And so do think broadly about the problem and bring forward some exciting research. I think the third thing that we will be looking for, and I think this will be critical in Call9, we believe that Call9 will be quite competitive, is that think about the impact and describe the impact on society, on industrial research, and on healthcare. And go back to our research agenda. If you think about the core objectives of IHI, it is about addressing public health, unmet public health need. It is about piloting new approaches, but it's also about transforming and making European health industry more competitive. And so all of these objectives are can be outcomes of your projects. And all of this is spelled out in the SRIA, and I'm sure those of you who are preparing projects are busy reading it. Then finally, I just want to say a few words. I mean, we fund large pre-competitive, if you want, consortia, and putting together a good consortium and a good proposal is, it takes time, it takes effort. And that's really why we've designed this event and the networking platform and all the information. As you know, we have been advertising Call9 because of the newness of the approach for some time. And it's really to help you to prepare yourself in the best possible way before the calls open in January and before the submission due date in April. And so do make the most of today, but also for those of you who are online, and those in the room, make most of the networking platform. There are a lot of people who can't be here today. Their ideas are equally good, and they will be on the online tools. So don't forget in the excitement to every now and then check in online, because there might be just the specific expertise you're looking for in your project. Then and we will, there will be plenty of opportunities to talk about the procedural, but actually from a procedural point of view, Call9 is a standard single-stage IHI call, just like the other 7 calls we've had before on using the single stage. But this also means that you need to have representation from industry. Remember the DNA strand. You need the industry partners. So on that note, I'd like to welcome representatives from our industry associations up onto stage, and they will say a few words on behalf of the European industry. So Nicola, Enrique, and Sophie, maybe you can come up. So. Thanks for joining us today. I think, Nicola, you will say a few words, but just to let everyone know, so we have representations from FPA, so the pharmaceutical industry, and Vaccines Europe, so that's Nicola Kreff from the FPA office. We have Enrique Esquiel from COSIR, so these are the large medical technology providers, the X-ray equipment, the radiation equipment, and so on. And we have Sophie from MedTech Europe, which is the sort of smaller devices, in vitro diagnostic, medical technologies. And we don't have Claire Skeltonberry, unfortunately, from Europa Bio, the biotechnology, which is also part of IHI. She sends her best regards, but she had to miss this morning at the short notice. So thank you very much for joining us. And Nicola, please.
Thank you, and good morning, and thanks to all of you for joining. So I don't know if you remember, I think a bit more than 2 years ago, we actually had the kickoff event of IHI in this same exact place. Since then, we have launched already 8 calls. We're about to launch 2 new calls in a few weeks or months. So basically, the picture is still the same. Our industry associations have committed to IHI, and we're still very committed to actually support the collaboration between companies, between our members and public stakeholders. And that's valid for all our associations, and here I'm not talking on behalf of FPA alone, but on the different associations represented here. So we support this collaboration and in large transformative projects, and I think we can only agree with what Niklas told us just a few minutes ago about the expectations for ambition and impact for the project, and that applies to this call, just like to any IHI call for proposals. Then maybe regarding the mindset and the spirit of industry and of our members. So we are looking to partner with public partners, with SMEs, ideally that have experience in collaborations with industry, with private companies. I think that's definitely an asset for many of the partners who want to engage, which maybe makes it slightly different from some call for proposals that you've seen, if I would say, standard Horizon Europe calls. However, some of you here and some of the participants do not have that experience of partnering with industry, and I think we still want to be very open to any type of stakeholders. So I think for public partners who do not have that experience, it's important that actually you try to understand the spirit of IHI, public-private collaboration, and the points that Niklas has mentioned just before. So we want within each individual project to have the right alliance of public and private stakeholders, and there's not one size fits all or one just template for a consortium. So some of the consortia might call for different types of partners. I could make a list of the key stakeholders that usually we like to collaborate with in projects. This includes universities, hospitals, research and technology organizations, patient organizations. We also have non-profit organizations, which can be, for instance, charities. We have some projects which also call for the involvement of national and regional authorities. This can be at the healthcare level. Of course, we do have projects which involve regulators at European or national level. So I think this is not an exhaustive list, but these are the type of stakeholders where we are keen on engaging with. And it doesn't mean that you need to have all of them in your project. It depends really on the scope. But we want to make sure that this engagement with all relevant stakeholders is secured. And maybe in the list, there are some obvious ones that we have forgotten. And as mentioned by Niklas earlier, we want to reach out also to some organizations that maybe are not the usual suspects in our calls. They are very much welcome to engage to build consortia. One other point that is important is that also both our sectors want to engage within this call. So we have here members on the industry side from the pharma and the medtech sector. So they want to engage into projects. We might have projects, and this is what we very much welcome, which includes companies from both sectors, the pharma and the medtech. And Call 9 as a pilot is a way also to further boost this. One point also maybe to clarify with some of you who are actually eager to engage with industry. We already received some contact requests from some of the stakeholders. We got in touch with some of you, and we know it is sometimes challenging to network in the perfect way. The deadline for Call 9 will be later next year, but it's important that you start networking as early as possible to build your consortium, to engage with all types of players. From our side, if I can give you a few basic tips in case you want to engage with our members. First point is that if you engage with some companies and you contact them, for instance, via the platform or get in touch with them today, it's quite important that you highlight in your pitch to which specific objective your proposal is related. And it can be plural. You have to choose one specific objective to apply. We're not going to enter into all the details of the call, but you can address actually several of them. So please try to be super specific on the type of objectives that you are targeting, the IHI specific objectives. Please also try to be quite specific in either your expertise or what your consortium is planning to do. In particular, the scope, main objectives and deliverables. I know this seems easy. When you work on a good proposal, it's actually, these few bullet points on the key deliverables and scopes, sometimes they are the hardest to get, but it's super important. Last point, sometimes our companies would get some presentations which they find very good, but they are struggling to understand what would be their contribution in the project. So our commitment in IHI from our members is to commit to contribute to the project, and most of our contributions are in kind, meaning that if you collaborate with our members, their participation needs to convert into activities and resources they would put in the project. Which is why, if some of our companies read the presentation but are unable to understand what could be their activities and how they could contribute, it might be very difficult for them to engage. So again, this seems easy, and especially if you're on the public side, it might not be that obvious for you to guess, what's in it for the companies, how can they contribute. But that's really an effort that I encourage you to do, even if you are not entirely sure, but please put yourself in the mindset, how could companies contribute to the project? Because I think for our members, this would make things much easier for them to engage. Please keep in mind also that usually when they commit resources to a project, they need to make the decision internally with their own management. They have their own procedures, but it might take some time. So it's important for you to engage with them quite early and to give a picture of what you expect from them. I think this is basically it for the suggestions and recommendations. So with this event today, we have quite a very open playing field for all stakeholders to engage. So I hope you enjoy the pitches today, that you can find all the opportunities to network. You have 2 days face-to-face. Thursday will be the opportunity also to network, and of course this will continue later on. So I wish you all the best of luck, and I hope that you appreciate this event. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Nicolas, Enrique, and Sophie, and do heed Nicolas' advice. I think that's one of the most frequent discussions we hear from companies is the lack of specificity, and it's unclear what role they're asked to play. But with this, I think I'd like to draw the welcoming session to a close. The only thing that remains for me is to wish you a very fruitful event, and remember that this is networking. We are here to make new connections and to find that specific capability that will push your project into the leading position in the evaluation. So I wish you a really day, and I hope we can work together to build some really great projects and great collaborations. So now I will hand over to Catherine Collins from the IHI communications team. So Catherine can come on stage. Yeah. And I think Catherine will take us through the practicalities of the day. So thank you very much, and good luck.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the event today. As already mentioned, the focus of this event is on making connections and starting to form your potential consortia for Call 9. I have a few housekeeping items that we need to run through first, and after that then we'll get on to the pitching sessions for today. So first of all, to make it easier for you to tell who actually already has a proposal in preparation or the beginning ideas of it, you will see those people with green lanyards. So make sure that you say hello. They're looking for people to form consortia, so this is the right time and the right moment to do that. People with blue lanyards are from organizations that are interested in joint projects or that can help you build connections and put you in touch with potential partners. You can take a look at their posters and their stands throughout the networking areas. Don't hesitate to stop and chat. That is what they're here for. And you'll find IHI staff wearing white lanyards. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to talk to us. I want to say a quick reminder to all pitchers for this session. If you haven't already made yourselves known to my colleagues on this side of the stage, please do that. Otherwise, You may have seen that outside we have a whiteboard with time slots and names of meeting rooms. So this is where we have several rooms set aside where you can hold meetings, and you can book these rooms for 50-minute slots throughout today and tomorrow. Our pitching sessions are going to highlight some of the initial project proposals, and don't hesitate to introduce yourself to the pitchers after these sessions if you think that you have a solution that could be a good match. In case any questions do come up during your meetings, we are running an Ask the Experts Q&A session at the end of both days. So if you have a question on the call or our rules and procedures, you can put your questions into Slido. So Slido is on the screen just above us here. Please scan it. You will need to send us to Slido. You will need to send it via Slido before 3:30 each day. Every day at 3:30, Slido will close, and our Ask the Expert session starts at 5:15. We will be answering all questions on Slido, but we'll only be answering some in person on the stage. So don't worry, your question will be answered, just might not be in this, on this stage. We are going to be holding full information sessions when we launch the call next year, so do keep an eye on our website and make sure that you're following us on social media and that you're subscribed to our newsletter. And lastly, and importantly, I want to share some emergency information. You can find the emergency exits on either side of the stage here. And there's also an emergency exit at the registration area where you just go straight outside. Okay, so today we have a full day of pitches focusing on specific objective 2, which is how we can integrate fragmented health and research innovation efforts and develop tools, data, platforms, and more to help improve disease prediction, prevention, interception, diagnosis, treatment, and management. Every pitcher has 5 minutes to pitch, and I am going to be strict, so I warn you now, and I will let you know when you have 30 seconds left. Okay, so I'd like to invite our first pitcher then up to the stage. So Nivedita from Siemens, if you could please come up on stage. Thank you very much. Start now.
Okay. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first pitch of the day. So my name is Nivedita Agarwal, and I'm representing Siemens Healthineers and one of our projects, which is called Access AD. The project is focused on improving access to care for Alzheimer disease patients, and we are planning to apply it for topic 2, and that's why we are here. Clicker?
There should be a clicker just here, yeah.
So I think in this room, I don't have to specify why Alzheimer is a prevalent disease that we need to tackle. So approximately 10 million people in Europe in 2019 were detected with dementia, and 60 to 80% of them were treated with Alzheimer disease. It is one of the leading cause of death in Europe, which is more than combined prostate and breast cancer. And if I look at the socioeconomic impact, by 2030, the economic burden of this disease would be almost equivalent to Finland's GDP. Apart from this, there is also a regional disparity in terms of the disease care that we have in Europe, and that would be the main focus of the project. So let's look at the challenges. Apart from despite from the significant advancement in the disease-modifying therapy solutions we still have some challenges to face with this disease. One is the demographic and disease risk, that most of the population prone to Alzheimer's disease are in rural or underserved areas, and this still do not have the right access to care. The second is the staffing shortages. We still do not have the right technicians, the neurologists in these areas which can help. Access to screening and disease monitoring. There are limited training on new therapies. Inconsistent follow-up. That's like one of the major cause why there is gap in this disease monitoring or progression of this disease is because there is inconsistent follow-up by the patients. And of course, there is financial and travel barriers and also lack of health literacy. So what are the project objectives, what we would like to do? One is that, of course, a better access to care in rural and underserved areas for the patients. Second is that we would like to use the AI technologies to make it more advanced and better for better solutions. And by bringing this to the IHI platform, where we integrate with the cross-industry solutions with other partners, we would like to have an enhanced coordination in the decision-making system. And also, we plan to have more a standardized, harmonized, and integrated data flow of the patients through a federated manner, in a federated manner. And like I said, it is more focused on specific objective 2, but of course it relates to 3 and 4 as well. So what would be the approach that we will take to get to these objectives? One is to decentralize the diagnostics and therapies part with validating low-cost blood-based biomarkers and also affordable imaging modalities for this. Second would be using telemedicine, remote radiology, scan protocols, and optimizing the workflows. Third would be having standardized protocols for risk stratification of this disease. And then, like I said, AI-driven tools, federated tools, and we will try to use these tools for better detection, diagnosis, and monitoring of the diseases. And finally, also, we will focus on the health economics modeling. Summarizing the project now, it helps in the improving access, better resource utilization, care to the quality care, cost-efficient care, and also public health improvement. And finally, what are the stakeholders that we are looking for? Of course, the academic and research institutes, the healthcare providers, other pharma companies, other medtech companies, government and public health agencies, non-profit organizations, and the other technology and data analytics companies. And the project, we plan that potentially it would run for 5 years, and the volume would be approximately 22 to 25 million. That's it, basically, from our side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nivedita. You can just exit from that side there. Next, I would like to welcome Annamaria from GE Healthcare. Annamaria, if you'd like to come up here. A little reminder that also we have a recording of an info event on our website if you need more information about Call 9.
Hello everyone, my name is Annamaria Csizmadia. I'm the Medical Innovation Manager at the GE Healthcare, and today I would like to introduce our consortia plan, named is COMPASS. We would like to establish a comprehensive onco-cardiology multidisciplinary patient assistance solution for supporting breast and prostate cancer cardiotoxicity care. Cardiotoxicity is a crucial challenge on many oncology fields, since chemotherapies and innovative drugs have strong cardiotoxicity, adverse event profile, causes serious cardiovascular disease. Onco-cardiology is a relatively new field, and there are limited standardized protocols and guidelines available. Early markers of cardiotoxicity are not always well established or widely used. Effective communication and care coordination between oncologists and cardiologists are often lacking, which can complicate patient management. And onco-cardiology services are often available only in larger medical centers, making access challenging for many patients. The burden of the treatment of this cancer type is very high, especially if we consider that this patient can develop cardiotoxicity in 25%. Regarding the patient care pathway, there are several factors affecting the cancer development and progressions, like the genetic background, lifestyle, the age of patient, and the environment. These factors can be utilized for predict not just the disease development, but the treatment response and the adverse events development as well. We would like to focus on breast cancer and prostate cancer, since these cancer types treatment considered as a high-risk cardiotoxicity development. And top of that, there are several more factors that can lead the cardiotoxicity, like the combination therapies, cumulative dosage, treatment duration, and frequency. The most common identified cardiovascular disease is the cardiomyopathy, arrhythmia, heart failure, structured heart disease. Regarding the cancer survivor monitoring, these procedures do not have any protocols to cardiac monitoring. There is no proper cardiac vascular risk factor management currently, and there is no plan for the long-term cardiovascular monitoring procedure. There are several challenges and objectives, like the delayed onset and long-term risk, the lack of predictive markers, and therapeutic limitation. Achieving the balance between effective cancer therapy and minimizing cardiac risk is challenging and may limit therapeutic options for certain patients. The standard tools for detecting cardiotoxicity, such as echocardiograms or cardiac MRI, may lack the sensitivity to identify early signs. And patients exhibit a varying response to cancer treatment due to factors such as age, genetics, comorbidities, and prior heart health. Predicting individual risk and customizing cancer treatment accordingly is a challenge currently. What we would like to establish is a comprehensive ecosystem. We identified key pillars of this system. We would like to provide advanced cardiac imaging biomarkers. We would like to provide the platform to be able to establish a digital solution, predictive AI analysis, and clinical decision support system. We would like to strengthen the multidisciplinary care pathway, and the education, health economy evaluation, and the other key pillars should be proceeded by the consortium. We have several outcomes and impact, but I have less time, so what we...
Sorry, I have to be strict.
What we have, we would like to utilize G-Healthcare's diagnostic solution. We would like to enhance our solution and provide proper treatment and diagnostic equipment. We have an AI solution to establish an AI analytic platform. We would like to develop a prediction AI algorithm. And we are looking for academic partners and expertise on this field. We would like to work with different industries, medtech company, pharmaceutical company, digital company. We are looking for SMEs who can provide home monitoring devices, and we are looking for research organizations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Annamaria. Next on stage, I would like to welcome Mark from Siemens Healthineers, please. Yes, Mark, if you can just come over here. That's perfect.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark. I represent the diagnostic business line at Siemens Healthineers, and I would like to introduce you now to our second Siemens Healthineers pitch for today, which is the BREATHE project. We probably all know in this room that lung cancer remains one of the most common and deadliest cancers, despite a lot of efforts which has been put into developing new biomarkers and new treatment options. The good thing is we also kind of know what we need to do or where we need to go to improve patient outcomes, and that is by detecting cancer earlier and by personalizing the treatment that we put onto patients. The BREATHE project, therefore, aims to improve outcomes for lung cancer patients all along the patient pathway by bringing together in vivo and in vitro diagnostics to better classify lung nodules and to guide treatment, by harnessing the potential of AI-based technologies along the lung cancer patient journey, and by integrating industry solutions for coordinating decision-making. Furthermore, we would like to provide a data platform or data infrastructure which enables improvements in care. How do we like to do this? There are like five key points that we would like to make. One is by verifying multimodal biomarkers, for example, by bringing together imaging, proteomics, or genomic information. We would like to develop and apply new technologies which enable the measurement of these biomarkers. We would like to develop and validate biomarkers which enable novel treatment methods. Our current focus here is on radiotherapy, in particular stereotactic body radiotherapy, but we're also more than open to kind of broaden that to include the more standard of care in lung cancer, which is surgery combined with pharmacological treatment like neoadjuvant therapies. As mentioned, we would like to provide a digital platform which enables the sharing, analysis, and interpretation of multimodal biomarker data in a federated manner, which is compliant with all of the data security questions we're having today. And we are also planning on developing a strategy by bringing together key stakeholders from across the continuum, like patient organizations, health economics, regulatory professionals, to kind of like, which helps us to bring this new approach into clinical practice and also into reimbursement pathways. If we can achieve that, I think we can achieve three key outcomes here. We will have validated multimodal biomarkers and data analytics models for the classification of indeterminate lung nodules and for treatment stratification, monitoring, and follow-up. We will have a validated regulatory strategy, which allows us to translate these biomarkers into regular clinical use. And we will have demonstrated a sustainable platform for data sharing, federated learning, and development and validation of new data analytic models. And as an added bonus, I think we can also show that this platform is not just suitable for lung cancer, but it's also suitable for other use cases. If we can achieve this, we think we have the opportunity to really affect patient outcomes through the earlier detection, better classification, and improved personalized treatment of indeterminate lung nodules. We already have a well-organized consortium. We have a partner who will do the project management and coordination for us. We have a number of clinical and academic partners who will bring in patient cohorts and new biomarkers. We have professional and patient organizations. We have industry contribution from across the continuum. Again, we have diagnostic partners like us. We have partners from the field of radiotherapy. There's a small pharma contingent right now. We have SMEs and startups which bring in novel and innovative technologies. But this is not a closed shop. We are open for additional partners. In particular, as mentioned before, we are open for pharma partners who would like to bring in their treatment offers for lung cancer. We are open for additional diagnostic and medtech partners which address gaps in our current offering, in particular maybe genomic testing, and for additional partners from the regulatory field who could help us bring these biomarkers into regular clinical use. We are planning for a project to span 5 years, and the budget that we are kind of envisioning is around 25 million, with the usual 50% in-kind contribution by industry.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mark. Now, I'd like to welcome our next speaker on board. So this is Owen from Pfizer. Owen from Pfizer. Hello, welcome.
Hello, I came from a different direction.
Yeah.
Yes. Good morning. My name's David Owen, and I'm from Pfizer, and I'm joined here at this meeting by my colleague, Elaine Borthwick, who is our operations lead for this consortium, and our public lead coordinator, that's Professor Aled Edwards. I'm going to take this slide in reverse order, if you like. It's to take this to the highest of levels. I'm a member of the pharmaceutical industry, and there is public health needs that need to be addressed, of course, through innovative medicines to treat the world's most underserved and poorly researched diseases. And I think an IHI mechanism is the perfect way to take on investments in technologies and platforms that can seriously accelerate what is still a lengthy drug discovery process. I've been in the industry for 26 years, and I assure you the 10 to 12 years that it still takes us is something that we need to impact, and this mechanism is a way to do that. And I speak in this particular case towards the early preclinical research part of our operation as an industry, as a sector, as a community. So the essence of this is to identify better starting points more quickly on a greater scale to seed the right biology and the right projects to lead more effective use of our clinical time and ultimately serve patients earlier and sooner. And there are still plenty of ways to impact that 10 to 12-year timescale. So this is the essence of the proposal. We propose in the consortium that we are building to conduct the largest ever ligandability assessment of the human proteome, where we're going to have thousands of proteins meet billions of molecules to produce a high-quality data set that will help inform and improve machine learning methods to help us take us to a more predictive generation of drug discovery. This is a sizable undertaking, which is why we would like to do it through an IHA partnership, and it's even beyond the resources of a sizable company like Pfizer to do this. If I could draw an analogy to AlphaFold, AlphaFold came about because a very well-curated data set in the public domain, funded by public and private partners, where structural biology data was collated in an organized fashion, in a well-parameterized fashion, that was actually well-suited for when the technologies had moved on in the world of machine learning to bring us what we now have, of course, which is predictive protein structure and folding. Beyond that, I'm a medicinal chemist. The next thing I want to know is, how will we predict which ligands will bind to said proteins? That is an AlphaFold-esque operation, and the proposal here is to build that public, consistent data set on which we can build high-quality machine learning and bring us that next generation beyond AlphaFold, where we can predict what ligands will bind to these proteins. And clearly, we need to energize and galvanize all the sectors that could have a stake in this, and there are many. So why is it suitable for IHI? It's large, it's ambitious, and it needs contributions from many expertise and partners that lie within the funding footprint of the IHI. I speak for Big Pharma, but I'm particularly attracted in this particular mechanism because this will reach into the technology sector, the data management side. CROs are going to be required as well because we're going to be generating a lot of data, lots of molecules to validate in biophysical screening. And so we have access to colleagues and experience in screening technologies, small molecules, protein generation, and data science. And these are the four corners of this ambitious operation. But these models can only be validated on high-quality wet lab science to produce the data in which we can build a new generation of machine learning-informed predictive drug discovery. So the anticipated outcomes of this will be a large, consistent data set available through the open science mandate of this particular collaboration that will help take us to that next generation of predictive drug discovery. It'll also help us understand the ligandability of large percentages of the genome, which targets might we be able to perturb before we understand the underpinning biology. And as I said, I'm particularly excited with the sort of cross-sector appeal, I hope, of this particular collaboration. And we'll be applying these resources to a publicly available data set that we can use. So the expertise and resources that we need, as I said, we are looking for expertise in machine learning, protein production, aspects of drug discovery, screening technologies like DEL and ASMS, and sources of protein reagents and biophysical assays. This is a large, ambitious, and sizable undertaking that I hope you will want to join us in, where the entire budget we propose is 60 million, where 30 million can be raised through in-kind and cash contributions to be matched by the IHI. I hope you join us in generating this large publicly available data set that could underpin the next generation of drug discovery.
Thank you, Felix. Thank you so much. Okay, so our next pitcher is Felix from Pharmatics. Felix, hello, welcome.
Yes, hello, I'm Felix Agakov from Pharmatics UK, and we are in data integration and validation for evidence-based research. We are solving the problem of identifying and automatically integrating diverse, most up-to-date, relevant evidence throughout discovery, clinical development, and implementation, and seamless integration with the existing processes across health industry sectors. We are in SO2 integrating fragmented RNA efforts, and we are addressing the unmet needs in evidence-based prevention, prediction, and treatment with specific focus on this project on cardiometabolic conditions. Our project aims to bridge gaps between research, clinical practice, and business and technology by developing a platform and tools using foundation AI models trained on diverse sources of multimodal biomedical evidence. So when a new piece of research or a new machine learning model comes out, it will be integrated as a part of the foundation AI system. AI will build upon but exceed and existing foundation models by integrating causality from interventional studies, as well as statistical results from biomedical publications and annotations and models built on those annotations, which will be included as a part of this foundation AI. And inferential queries to AI, evidence-based queries will be integrated with multiple workflows, both on the research and development side, at the vendor side, and also with clinical pathways on the provider side. It will be demonstrated for the cardiometabolic space, and cardiometabolic data will be used to fine-tune the systems, and we will also run a pilot trial for secondary and tertiary prevention. I'm sorry, it goes too fast. We think it's a potentially good fit for IHI because it's a large and ambitious project. To develop foundation AI for diverse data, we'll need experts from multiple fields. So if you're experts in annotations or build machine learning models on various kinds of annotations, please reach out to us, or experts in omics or medical imaging. There is a lot of scope for multiple integrations here. We'll look to efficiently translate by integrating both with R&D pathways at industries and clinical pathways at healthcare providers. So you will always see two streams in our project, one for industries, one for providers, which will talk to each other by maintaining academic rigor. And there is a potential for contributions from multiple industries here, and we expect that industries will contribute expertise, especially AI departments of pharmaceuticals and medical device companies, will contribute expertise to develop this foundation AI and potentially data and evidence, while benefiting from the system to develop more efficiently. There will be three tangible outcomes from this: one for vendors, which will be a platform for enhanced research and development; one for providers, which will be improvement in prediction, prevention, and treatment in cardiometabolics, which will be demonstrated in a pilot trial. We also hope to develop processes for health systems to help integrate best practices, which will be demonstrated by local adoption as a part of this project. We will involve multiple industries and multiple stakeholders and patients throughout, integrate with multiple workflows, and generate evidence to ensure that this evidence-based foundation AI actually brings value to ensure we have local adoption and potentially broader implementation. A tangible outcome will be world's first foundation AI systems trained on diverse biomedical evidence to speed up development in the EU and UK, and patients will benefit from faster access to better medications through evidence integration. We've got multiple partners already. We're looking for pharma and tech departments, especially AI people from those departments, to help develop the system, tech expertise, especially around causality and multimodality, data custodians, cardiometabolic specialists, and an academic project coordinator. Although we have a project of our own, we'll gladly join efforts with others who may benefit from evidence-based biomedical AI. Please reach out. I'll share more details, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Felix. Thank you. Our next speaker is Stephen from CPI. Stephen? Hello, welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm going to talk around next generation materials for implantable bioelectronic medical devices. So if you you don't remember anything in the next 5 minutes, we're looking for new materials to help invasive medical devices move forward in terms of technology maturity. How do I go? All right. There we are, sorry. So the challenge that we're looking at is implantable bioelectronic materials. We know that medical devices last longer in the human body. The expectation is to last longer. Implantable medical devices are class 3 devices. They're the highest level of regulation. The objective is a SO2 objective. What we're looking to do is to develop new conductive materials to increase the lifetime of bioelectronic medical devices and to bring the supply chain forward to do that. We know that there's a big opportunity in Europe around neurotechnology and central nervous system diseases, for instance. The progression of bioelectronic materials will make a significant impact towards this, so we're reaching out to consortiums across Europe to try and bring new materials forward.
It's not working. Next slide, please. Can we have the next slide?
There we are, thank you. So our approach is broken down into 3 areas. So technical work, we'll be looking for partners to develop new electric conducting materials. We'll be looking to develop sensors which resist biofouling. We'll be looking to develop new materials which can withstand implementation into the body for many years. We know that's a big driver in Europe, for instance. We're looking to build a supply chain of partners, bringing together academia, industry partners, clinicians across Europe, and research technology organizations as well to mature a supply chain so new materials can move forward. And we're also looking for regulatory partners as well across the various different bodies across Europe.
Can we have, yeah.
Okay, is the project suitable for IHI? Absolutely, it's pre-competitive. We need to bring together industry partners to solve a shared industry challenge. We know that implantable devices are becoming more and more popular and of need in Europe. It's really important to bring industry together to do that. We know that we need to bring researchers forward to bring those new materials, to get them to a stage of maturity where they can reach the industrial demand. We know that medical device companies are developing new bioelectronic devices as well, so it definitely needs a pre-competitive challenge to bring this forward. We need to ensure that material manufacturers can get the right demand signals of the quantities needed to move forward as well. So outcomes and impact, we're looking to generate new conductive materials. We're looking to generate a medical grade supply chain, improve facilities to develop bioelectronic devices, improve facilities to develop biocompatible materials, to really get a better understanding of how materials behave in the body over long periods of time. That will increase the competitiveness of the European industry. We know that Europe's particularly strong in invasive devices and biocompatible materials, hopefully in the future. So in terms of expertise and resources, so at CPI, we're an RTO and a Technology Innovation Center. We have facilities and capability to scale up new materials. We have clean room facilities for the prototyping of bioelectronic devices. We've worked in UK roadmaps. It would be brilliant to bring that expertise across Europe. Who we're looking for partners right across the ecosystem. So if you're a university, for instance, who would develop new materials and want to scale them up to industry, we'd love to hear from you. If you're a medical device organization, it would be brilliant to understand the shared challenges across industry. If you're a research technology organization, it'd be brilliant to look for areas where we can collaborate and build on the expertise in Europe. So really looking to bring together the ecosystem, the supply chain, to bring new biocompatible materials forward. So I'll be around all day if people want to reach out to me in person. I've got a green lanyard on. If people want to connect me through the platform, which people already have done, that would be excellent. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you. I'll just go that way. Thanks. Now I'd like to welcome Baubach from the Austrian Bioimaging CMI. And we seem to maybe be having a problem with the clicker, so maybe Baubach, if you want to just say next if it doesn't work, and then my colleagues can pick it up at the back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, my name is Baubach Bocciocoli from Austrian Bioimaging. It's a great pleasure to introduce you to the next this project. So if you are looking for a visionary project with a high potential for profit, this project might be the perfect match for you. Did you know that Histopathology, a gold standard for diagnosis many diseases, including cancer, is a method that's from 1896, and roughly about 2.3 billion of histological slides are analyzed worldwide annually. That's about 72 slides per second. This number underlines the importance of histopathology. So during the last 128 years, all efforts for modernization and workflow optimization could not really make today's pathological method align with the patient needs and the demands of our modern healthcare system. The lab-intensive nature of this procedure is the major challenge, making typically patients wait to receive the first diagnosis from the pathologist 7 days after the biopsy has been taken. Pathologists struggle with a phenomenon named histological sample bias, because slides are providing limited two-dimensional information. And this makes an early diagnosis of carcinoma less accurate. Today, histopathology is less cost-effective for our health system, because it needs a fully equipped laboratory. Here, in this project, we introduce you a new technical solution, a device that can be placed to the operation room, next, or even in the doctor's office. Biopsies can be imaged immediately after taken from the patient, and instead of sending sample to the laboratories, three-dimensional images can be sent directly to the pathologist. This method is based on non-real-time 3D imaging, based on the non-linear microscopy, and is able to scan a freshly stained biopsy and generate three-dimensional images with a high accuracy, next, and sensitivity, and which resembles the paraffin-embedded sections. And in addition, it provides a more comprehensive three-dimensional information of a sample, and which can be reanalyzed after imaging. And do a very short workflow, the turnaround time shrinks from days to minutes. And the image data can be integrated in the current European initiatives like Big Picture or digital pathology. And it's very cost-effective because it's only one, next, because it's only one device that can be used in our healthcare systems. And here we need the contribution of the industrial partner, specifically from these sectors. Next. Integrating such an instrument in our healthcare system would make it possible an accurate and fast diagnosis, and would have a direct impact on patients, our healthcare system, and for our industrial partner, hopefully in this audience, a unique selling point of a device in a market that has been valuated for 16 billion euro in 2023, with an annual growth of 15% for the next decade. In this proposal, we bring a strong expertise in optical imaging and our know-how, access to the pathologist and patient samples from several countries, and access to more than 200 research infrastructures in Europe through our association with the Euro Bioimaging. We are looking for partners that complement our expertise, especially in the hardware development, in the lasers, optical systems, mechanics, in the software solutions, development of sample preparation kits, and to fulfill the medical technology regulation.
30 seconds.
Here is the bottom line. This proposal will improve the quality of diagnosis for over 20 million cancer patients per year, and make our industrial partner a unique selling point for a device worldwide. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Baba. Thank you. You can just leave the stage there on the left. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Very important that we have the clicker there. I'd now like to welcome Jim from CPI to the stage, please. Jim? Thank you very much. Again, I'm not sure if it's working. If it's not, just say next.
Okay, so I'm Mc Guire. My colleague Barry couldn't make it, so I'm taking his place today. So I'm here to talk about advanced cell models for drug discovery. And next slide, please. So the project we're introducing today is for the introduction of new anti-cancer drug treatments. It will speed these up in Europe. The proposal addresses SO2 stream, which will bring together pharmaceutical and medical technology sectors. What is the problem? In Europe, it accounts for 1/10 of the world's population, but 1/4 of the world's cancer cases. So we really need to take steps to improve that. And this is only going to increase by more than 24% by 2035, making it a leading cause of death in the EU. So the overall economic impact of cancer in Europe is estimated to exceed 100 billion annually. Is this project suitable? Yes, absolutely. It requires cross-sector collaboration between pharma companies, medical device companies, and other life science companies in consultation with the regulators and clinicians to succeed, because you need to bring all these people together. Pharma companies we need because they're the ones with the drug candidates and be using the models to develop this technology and increase their clinical development. But also we could make use of the data they've already gathered for other studies that they've been doing. And bringing together this whole supply chain from the seeding of the cells into the models, the cell scaffolds, the recreation, and this complex perfusion that you'd require for the models as well. And standardizing this as well and speeding it up, making it more efficient through automation of the workflow and interpreting these results. And why would you do this? These new anti-cancer drugs will have high impact on patients, targeting people with unmet needs that aren't getting targeted right now. And this is only just going to increase, the impact is getting higher and higher, increasing clinical need. The outcomes and impacts for this project. So their outcomes, results, we want to develop advanced cell models for the use in new cancer drug screening pipelines, new methods and equipment to prepare and develop these models using organ-on-a-chip models. Cancer drug tox screening data were used in these models as well, and how you interpret that data. The impact of all this is to reduce the risk of harming patients that are involved in clinical trials. A lot of these animal models don't translate very well, so if we can speed up this process, as well as translating much better for humans, it can increase the whole clinical development process as well. Can't do this again without engaging with the EU regulatory network as well. For preclinical evidence from these in vitro models, we're going to move from standard animal testing to a new paradigm, if you like. So we need to engage everybody with that and speed up this whole process, as I said. We want to demonstrate a speed or cost-saving advantage in the drug pipeline. How do we envisage this proposal will ensure translation to implementation? Well, the drugs or drug combinations that we would select would meet the most urgent clinical needs, and they'd be prioritised in the project for testing with the new models. We bring in clinical partners to advise what is the most appropriate conditions to target, and as well as engage with the regulators. And how would this proposal contribute to strengthen industry competitiveness? Well, if you look at what's already out there, for example, Tagrisso, a lung cancer treatment, that earned $5.8 billion in sales in 2023, and that makes it the company's highest earner. At CPI, we have lots of experience and expertise in-house from formulation and synthesis of cell scaffolds and hydrogels, bioprinting, cell culture for the creation of 3D cellular models, to digital modeling, including that's data and physics-based. We've got automated methods that we've developed, microfluidic device fabrication and validation. We do technical economic assessments as well, and life cycle analysis. And we have got lots of experience across public-private partnerships. We're looking for pharma companies involved in organoid or chip. We're cell lines, across the whole supply chain, bioprinting, and regulatory expertise, and people interested in non-animal testing and screening. So I've run out of time here. Yep, so that's me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you. You can just go off the stage there. Thanks. Brilliant. I'd now like to welcome Stéphane from IHU ICAN. Stéphane, would you like to come up on stage?
Hi. So my name is Stéphane Commans. I come from the Institute of Cardiometabolism and Nutrition located in Paris, in France. So if I can have the next slide. So the challenge that we want to address, specifically under the specific objective 2 from IHI, is the rising burden of cardiometabolic disease. And we now have novel pharmaceuticals such as GLP-1 agonists that can address a plurality of risk factors from this disease. But today's care remains fragmented and incomplete through siloed clinical practice. So what we would like to do is, of course, to have more coordinated and comprehensive care management promoting cardiometabolic multidisciplinary team. So the next slide. And our approach to solve this problem is actually to qualify novel tools for better patient stratification, taking into account the multiplicity of cardiometabolic risk factors. And we would like to do that through the implementation of a European data integration hub in order to be able to develop and validate future AI-based multimodality algorithm, taking into account the lesson that we learned from previous EU funding projects such as Maestria, Litmus, Liveraim, or Artemis as example. And of course, this will lead to the development of multidisciplinary care pathway for cardiometabolic patients, coming from the various medical specialties in order to improve their quality of life, focusing on autonomy and mobility, which is particularly important in the case of sarcopenia, for example, for the elderly patients suffering for heart failure, and of course, to have more out-hospital care management. And we would like also to develop and train the next generation of European healthcare professionals and patients for these cardiometabolic pathways. Next slide. So our project is suitable for IHI because it's a large public-private collaboration that will need the involvement of a number of academic and industrial actors, such as the pharmaceutical company that are providing and developing the novel cardiometabolic pharmacotherapies, all the industry coming from the biomarker field, whether it's from in vitro, medical devices, or medical imaging field, and also companies that have strong knowledge in IT and AI in order to build this sustainable European cardiometabolic federated data infrastructure, and of course using previous experience from previous infrastructures such as Gaia ecosystem. So next slide. So in terms of outcome and impacts, apart from the development of this pathway and the qualification of all these tools, one important aspect of the project will be the training of the European healthcare professionals and patients on this cardiometabolic disease management through, for example, the implementation of novel protocol or programs for nurses in order to teach them for the necessary cross-disciplinary biomarkers that need to be addressed when you are speaking of cardiometabolic disease. And of course, this will ensure faster, complete, and equitable translation of novel cardiometabolic pharmacotherapy into wider clinical practice. And in addition, to have for each type of cardiometabolic patient that he receive a tailored treatment. Next slide. So we already have a core of willing academic and SME partners coming from the various European projects that we've been involved to, which are led by our key opinion leaders such as Professor Radziu or Professor Hatem, both in hepatology and cardiology. And we are looking for a pharmaceutical company willing to bring in-kind contribution, especially in terms of clinical trial data, an IT and AI company who could help build this federated data infrastructure. Our project will probably last for 60 months, and the budget we are anticipating is in the range of 30 million euros, depending on the number of novel tools that we want to qualify. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Stéphane. Next, I'd like to welcome Nancy from Sciensano on stage, and Nancy is our final pitcher for this session.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nancy Fredericks. I'm presenting the EU-wide innovative precision cancer medicine platform on neoadjuvant on behalf of the Cancer Center at Sciensano in collaboration with KU Leuven. As you might know, neoadjuvant therapy has the potential to reduce the cancer burden across various types, yet its widespread adoption faces significant challenges. First of all, the complexity of implementing this kind of trial by looking at the endpoint or the processes of implementing this trial. It's kind of a complex setup. The integration of innovative technology and the convergence of this technology is quite challenging. Additionally, the regulatory hurdle that we face brings some uncertainty around the clinical use of these drugs, but as well on the reimbursement. Finally, the limited sustainable access that impact the patient outcome. Therefore, we want to address the topic 2 of the SRIA document by aiming to establish an EU-wide platform for neoadjuvant therapy that reshape clinical trial and trial organization and promote unity and efficiency. This platform will support standardized trial setup, the integration of cutting-edge technology, standardized sampling processing method, and promote access to skilled personnel. Additionally, you can find an illustration of this platform by the Manifest initiative that was launched recently in the UK. Additionally to this platform, we would like to pave the way to establish a neoadjuvant learning system that will first of all concentrate to data centralization that will accelerate therapy development and promote cancer care. We want to foster the synergy with EU initiatives such as the EU NET CCC that was launched last October and the upcoming joint action on precision cancer medicine that will be coordinated by us, the Cancer Center. And finally, we'd like to support and facilitate regulatory alignment. Why EHI is an ideal instrument? Because we need to have a meaningful impact by sharing infrastructure, developing robust implementation framework, and address regulatory challenge together. Specifically, we are looking for contribution to access the new therapy and clinical trial expertise, advanced multi-omic technology and translational research. We are as well looking for centralized digital platform and data integration, and then we need to get an insight and guidance for local deployment. The platform will have an impact on streamlined clinical trial and speed up the development. It will as well have an impact on identifying surrogate outcome markers that will be supporting the regulatory framework. Then we will as well have an impact on integrating advanced technology. We expect an outcome by paving the way for the neoadjuvant learning system to standardize sample collection and method, to collect robust evidence for a regulatory transformation and enhance sustainability, access, and patient outcome. We do have a lot of expertise inside our consortium, actually. We have expertise in public health and clinical expertise. We do have a strong oncology network across Europe, a multi-omic molecular biology and data integration, but we are still looking for expertise in pharmaceutical development, advanced multi-omic analysis, data management and analytic. In addition, actually, on the previous point, the advanced multi-omic analysis, we do have as well expertise in the consortium, so that will comprehend the in-house expertise. We are looking as well for expertise in AI-driven cancer diagnosis, Pharmatics, and for regulatory body and patient advocacy group, because we want this to be patient-centric. To keep in mind from this speech, I would like you to keep in mind that this platform will accelerate the field of neoadjuvant therapy, transforming cancer care and improving patient outcome across Europe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Thank you. So a big thank you to all of our pitchers for this interesting session. If you did see a pitch with a project proposal that is interesting for you, you can find the pitchers and talk to them during our networking sessions. They'd be more than delighted to hear from you. We are now about to have a short coffee break and a poster session, which you can find outside. And the next pitching session, which was also going to be on topic 2, is going to start at 11:15. Could I ask all the pitchers who are in the next pitching session to make themselves known to my colleagues on this side of the room with the white lanyards, please? Okay, thank you very much, guys, and see you at 11:15. Thank you. Everybody, and welcome back after that short coffee break. I hope that you took the opportunity to look at the posters, to make some connections, and also to chat to some of the pitchers from our last session. A quick reminder to any pitchers who are taking part in this session, you need to make yourself known to my colleague on this side of the area, and you need to sit in the reserved seats. So there's a reserved seating area over there if you're pitching in this session, and my colleague Sergio here is waving. So please make yourself known to him. This pitching session is also focused on topic 2, integrating fragmented health research and innovation efforts and developing tools, data, platforms, and more to help improve disease prediction, prevention, interception, diagnosis, treatment, and management. We have an announcement regarding Slido. So we have actually got a new Slido code open. So if you did submit questions to the Slido code that we had on the screen at the last session, we're going to have to ask you to resubmit them. So we know that there were several questions already submitted. If you could please resubmit them to this Slido. So this is the Slido that we will be using to collect your questions. And as a reminder, the Slido stays open until 3:30. So please have all your questions in before then. Okay, so now on to the pitchers. And our first pitcher for this session is Jaap from Philips. Jaap. Hello, welcome.
Hello, good morning. I'm going to present a proposal called SEISMIC. SEISMIC is an acronym of Seamless Integration of Image Guidance to break down the barriers and enhance the efficiency of minimally invasive and hybrid neurosurgical care. So that's a long sentence. But what we want to do in this project is to focus on the neurosurgery domain. We see that currently complex neurosurgery procedures have a relatively low survival rate and high recurrency rate, and that could be improved by using more minimally invasive procedures. However, the potential of those procedures is not fully achieved yet because we see that there's a really scattered innovation effort from all the different players in in the neurosurgical domain. So in this project, we want to solve that by creating or bringing the partners together in this domain and integrate the innovation effort in that way, achieving more innovative and more efficient minimal invasive procedures. In the end, that will improve the treatment outcome, reduce the in-hospital stay of the patient. And this slide shows how we want to approach this problem. So you see all the different players in this field in this slide. We have medical devices like needles or cryoablation needles, for example, hematoma evacuation devices that deliver the treatment precisely and need intraoperative IMS guidance. But we also have pharmacotherapeutics that play a role in some of these procedures. And in order to get the drugs precisely at the right location, we also need IMS guidance during these procedures. So you see there's a lot of facilitating equipment that is needed, like imaging, navigation, optical equipment. Philips, of course, brings in the imaging part in this project. So we work on improvements in the intraoperative imaging. But we also need a lot of other players, like shown in this slide. We will select some specific neurosurgical procedures that we want to look into in this project. And then from the clinical side, look what are the barriers that restrict the use of those procedures. And then we bring together these partners to solve that and to make new interventions possible and make them more efficient. So this project is suitable for IHI, we think, because we need the different type of partners. We need academic institutions who own these advanced surgical workspaces. We also need medtech, obviously, but also pharmaceutical companies who have a need for targeted, focused drug delivery. So the outcomes of this project, like I explained, will be integration of key equipment in the hybrid surgical space. And we will develop novel minimally invasive techniques, improving the treatment outcome. And the impact of this project is, like it shows on the slide, de-risk early stage pharma development, but also all the benefits that go with minimally invasive procedures, like shorter procedure times, shorter in-hospital stays, and better clinical outcomes. We are already in contact with several industrial partners and also academic partners in the Netherlands and in Spain. But we are still looking for pharmaceutical industry partners who are working on image-guided focused drug delivery for neuro and neuro-oncological diseases. We have already quite some medtech partners, but we are still open to see if additional partners could play a role in this consortium. And in addition to that, we would like to get into contact with patient organization groups who are motivated to support the project, or other academic institutions working on innovation management or technological feasibility and clinical development. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You just move on the left there. I'd now like to welcome Francois from the European Organization for Rare Diseases, EURORDIS, onto the stage. Thank you, Francois.
Thank you very much. Good morning. So how could a public-private partnership research help improve the difficulties in accessing medicines in the EU? March 96, two very effective compassionate use programs started in France with 2 HIV products. By August, September of that same year, more than 11,000 people had benefited from these programs. According to epidemiologists, more than 2,250 lives were saved in France via these programs. Not only French people, but patients were coming from other European member states because they did not have programs in their countries. In northern Italy, for example, 1,000 people were coming to benefit from the compassionate use in France. In the UK, patients had to wait until the end of 1997 for the outcomes of cost-effectiveness analysis to be treated. And still nowadays, in France, we estimate that 80% of innovative products that make it to the market are available in average 24 to 36 months before the date of the marketing authorization via compassionate use programs. But in general, European patients are discriminated vis-à-vis compassionate use programs, depending on their member state of residence. So what can we do to change these situations? We think we need to gather the evidence that will convince all actors in the field of the need to equip our healthcare systems with more effective compassionate use schemes. So to do this, EURORDIS is proposing a public-private partnership. No, okay. It's the other way I should go. A public-private partnership to collect the evidence in a prospective manner. And we would like to invite pharmaceutical companies with products in research and development that could be candidate for compassionate use programs in 2026. And with them, we would like to collect the evidence we need and respond the following questions. What explains different approaches from different companies vis-à-vis compassionate use programs? What are the obstacles, the barriers, the differences in member states to make programs more effective, timely, or not? How to collect precious information, real-world data from these programs for regulators, HTA, and clinicians. How to better inform doctors and patients of the authorized programs, maybe via a European registry. With MedTech, we need to develop tools for patients to report on their own outcomes, positive or negative, when in such programs. With academics, we wish to measure the health impact of these programs, their cost benefit, their economic impact. With patient organizations, we wish to measure the needs of the patients, see if they understand what compassionate use programs are for. And moreover, we wish to measure the impact for the people benefiting from these programs and for their relatives. I think you all agree that the psychological relief of having a helping hand offered to you in such circumstances when you suffer from a very severe disease is really a sign that society can make for you. Having a severe disease rapidly evolving, knowing a product is soon to be out there, but you won't have it is, believe me, a terrible situation. So with the rare disease community and other patient organizations, we hope to create the same environment than in viral diseases, HIV, hepatitis, COVID-19, when 100% of the new products are available via compassionate use programs. So the outcomes and impact, we think, would be important with this program for patients who have life-threatening diseases and have exhausted all their options. The benchmark of effective measures that member states can take to ensure early access to medicines, higher equity in accessing compassionate use programs, earlier realization of public health benefits, improved pre-authorization experience with the product, and faster uptake of medicines, and increased attractivity of the European market. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can just leave off the left there. That's brilliant. I'd now like to welcome Hugo from Protein Alternatives to the stage. And while he's getting ready, if any of you are following us on social media, we are posting on LinkedIn and Mastodon at present, so please.
Good morning, I'm Hugo Cartagena. I'm the CEO of Protein Alternatives, a Spanish biotech company based in Madrid. And today I'm going to present our project to develop monoclonal antibodies for cancer therapy in place of Juan Ignacio Imbaud, our CEO, who is currently attending another meeting in Switzerland. And we are focusing on addressing critical needs in treating metastatic colorectal cancer and among other aggressive tumors. The primary challenge we are tackling is metastatic colorectal cancer, which remains an unmet need in oncology. Colorectal cancer is the fourth leading cause of cancer-related deaths worldwide, with 1.9 million new cases reported in 2022. The important thing here is that metastatic spread causes 90% of overall CRC deaths, related deaths, contributing to high mortality rates with 900,000 deaths in 2022. Despite advances in treatments, the 5 years survival rate remains critically low, under 15%. Our project aligns perfectly with IH mission to improve treatments and disease management, specifically targeting very aggressive tumors. Here, we introduced two first-in-class monoclonal antibodies. Our first candidate, PA661, is an anti-CDH17 antibody. CDH17 is a key biomarker in metastatic colorectal cancer, and it's also present in pancreatic and gastric cancers. In our liver metastasis mouse model, induced by intrasplenic injection, PA661 treatment enhances survival of all treated animals. Similarly, our second candidate, PA554, is an anti-EL13-RAT2 antibody, and EL13-RAT2 protein was identified also in metastatic colorectal cancer, and it is also present in glioblastoma. As well, with our liver metastasis mouse model, PA554 treatment enhances survival of all treated animals. Our project aligns perfectly with IHCAL9 by addressing the need for health innovation through a strong public-private collaboration to develop highly effective new therapies. To develop anti-CDH17 and anti-EL13-RAT2-based therapies, we need the collaboration and support of key health industry players: pharma, biotech, in vivo models, radiotherapy, medical imaging. We expect significant outcomes and impact from our initiative, and with the contribution from IHA partners, we aim to develop second-generation therapies, for example, antibody-drug conjugates, radioligands, bispecific, and partnering with pharmaceutical companies will facilitate the seamless integration of these products into the healthcare system. Biological drugs are high-value products that can contribute to strengthen EU competitiveness, as seen with the successful Ozempic effect in Denmark. And our novel therapy is designed to improve overall survival rates in patients with high aggressive tumors, improving their patient outcomes, enhancing their quality of life, and addressing critical needs in oncology. We are looking for partners to join our consortium and to lead our coordination efforts. We have 2 therapeutic drugs. We have a solid network of collaboration across Spain and Europe, and we have also experience in previous European projects, such as Eurostar's ESME instrument. We are actively seeking for collaborators with collaboration with pharmaceutical partners to help bring these therapies to preclinical and clinical trials, and to co-develop second-generation products like ADCs, radiopharmaceuticals, and bispecific. We are not offering in-kind contributions. Thank you very much. We think that with the right collaborations, these therapies can make a great impact in the fight against cancer. Thank you very much. This is not me, this is Juan Ignacio Imbaud, our CEO. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hugo. Thank you. I'd like to introduce our next speaker. So this is Andreas. Andreas is from Vilnius University's Faculty of Medicine. Thank you, Andreas.
Yes, good afternoon. So I'm a bit less of industry partner, but more academia. And today I will pitch you our new project, BioTwin for Cancer. Basically, why it's called like that, because we're trying to do the cancer twin, and why we are doing that, and what challenges are here in the world currently. That we went very deep into the genetic testing, into the molecular testing, with having up to 80 genes for prognostic values, trying to find the best cure for or best strategy for curing the cancer. Yet this approach still remains generalized in terms that all of the genes in those tests basically are important for any cell development and any cell action, and each gene added to the panel, added to the test, actually adds additional costs, and most of the times it does not really bring the value expected. So we are targeting currently specific objective 2 of IHI. And how we decided that we can try to solve that problem is basically coming back from molecular and proteomics data towards the cells, back to the cells and back to the roots of the problem and the interaction of the cells and how they can be used actually in selecting the treatment strategy for the patients. So basically, the approach to solve the problem is having the organoid of cancer stem cell organoids from the biopsy of the patient of various cancer types from various fields of oncology, have them as a proof of concept platform for basically selection criteria for the treatment, standardized all the protocols we do, having the platform in a physical form, basically manufacture the platform, and what is very, very important actually is the feedback from the field. So for that, we actually need lots of partners mostly from medtech, from regulatory bodies, from also academia, and we are trying also either to join or to form a consortium where we can develop a pan-European partnership in developing basically medtech platform for basically all possible cancer which we can do the biopsy for treatment selection. And why it's important, there were many talks about cancer already in this pitch session and the previous one, so I will not talk about numbers very much yet. Yet cancer remains one of the greatest topics in our current medical history, so yeah, addressing that is especially important. So what we have is translational hub partners and new research facility, and we are searching, as mentioned previously, lots of partners from industry and 3D technology related companies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andreas. If you want to leave the stage just there to your left, yeah, down those stairs. Thank you so much. Okay, I see some people have joined us from outside. Just to be aware that the Slido has actually changed. We're not going to show it now, we'll show it later, but to be aware that if you have added any questions to Slido, you're going to need to resubmit them after this session. Okay, so then our next speaker is Christoph from the Children's Hospital LMU Clinic Munich. Thank you. Welcome on stage.
Thank you, and welcome to Amigo. I represent the European Children's Hospital Organization, which is an alliance of 13 major tertiary care referral centers for children with rare, complex, and life-threatening diseases, from Spain to Finland and from UK to Poland. So why should you care about children with rare diseases? Well, first of all, because every child has dignity and deserves to be respected no matter how rare his or her disease is. On the other side, and this is largely unappreciated, there is an unprecedented opportunity to learn from children with rare diseases and to translate this knowledge into new therapies for adults with very common diseases. Let me tell you a story of Carla. Carla is a patient, she's 4 years old. We take care of her at the Hauner Children's Hospital at LMU in Munich. She suffers from severe polyarthritis. so uncontrolled inflammation, which attacks her joints. We identified a mutation in a novel gene that usually breaks down immunity. So with the mutation, there's dysfunction of this pathway, and this is why she has enhanced opportunity. And this is something we can now exploit to treat cancer. We did a screen of many thousand compounds and identified new validated hits, which we now develop into lead compounds with the aim to develop anti-tumor immune responses with new diseases, with new drugs which come from our innovation. And this is a story that I do not want to tell you just one time. I want to tell you that story 10,000 times, because we have at ECHO more than 10,000 patients with rare diseases, and each individual patient can teach us very important insights that we can now translate to develop drugs to treat patients with common diseases. Our focus is on the immune system, so we will target not only cancer, we will target other hyperinflammatory conditions such as IBD, rheumatoid arthritis, and others. Of course, we do need help for this. And there is a wonderful opportunity for public-private partnerships in that respect. We need help from the pharmaceutical industry to move on with our studies. We need help from the data science industries, because we now have multi-omic data on more than 10,000 patients, which need to be exploited. And I would like to invite you to join us in this very important mission. There is clear-cut pathways to solve this problem in the future. Come to our poster, we will tell you more. These are our lead hospitals from the European Children's Hospital Organizations, and others may join us as well. This project is clearly suitable for IHI. I think that is obvious to all of you. And we think that with this innovative ecosystem that we will jointly develop, we will empower the best way for target identification and validation, as I just shared with you based on Carla's story. The European Union's health industry will be strengthened. We will make children with rare diseases who currently are the therapeutic orphans to true pioneers of a new era of precision medicine. And of course, this will benefit patients, both those with rare diseases and many other patients with more common diseases, adult patients with inflammatory disorders. So we offer unique expertise throughout the European health space by ECHO's expertise. We are the major experts on rare diseases, but we do need help based on our need to develop targeted drug expertise, data to AI expertise, and down the road also with clinical trial support. And with this, I would like to thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Christoph, you can just leave off the left there. Thank you so much. Okay, so our next speaker is from the Institute of Biochemistry and Biophysics. Please welcome on stage Magdalena.
Good morning. If you want to remove all barriers, this speech is not for you, as we want to enforce one: gut barrier. Our ProBarrier project is focused on innovative solutions for the treatment and symptom elevation of diseases associated with gut barrier dysfunction. Healthy gut is very important, and gut barrier disruptions can lead to problems such as increased permeability, so-called leaky gut, increased inflammatory signaling, and dysbiosis. All of these can lead to severe health problems such as celiac disease, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, food allergy, immunological and neurological disorders, diabetes, and even early stages of colon cancer. We have several objectives. However, the most important is specific objective 2, focusing on unmet public health needs, such as increasing number of problems linked to gut barrier disruption, lack of effective therapies for people with gut barrier disorders, and poor quality dietary supplements, as well as limited number of well-characterized probiotic strains. Our approach to solve the problem is the ProBarrier project. We will characterize and select potentially probiotic strains using different microbiological and biochemical methods. The strains will be further analyzed using cell line tests, and the best pre and probiotics will be analyzed in animal models and in human studies. We will develop databases based on microbiota sequencing and metabolomic analysis. And these results will be used for building multimodal predictive models based on machine and deep learning. Our project is suitable for an innovative health initiative, as the project will be done in public-private collaboration. This proposal seeks contributions from industrial partners, including large and small pharmaceutical companies, biotech startups, and tech software firms, including small and medium enterprises. Outcomes of the projects are innovative solutions for the protection and restoration of gut barrier function, including novel pre- and probiotics targeting personalized needs, novel data sets on the microbiota of individuals with gut barrier disorders, multimodal predictive models allowing for more precise diagnosis and treatment. Our expertise and resources can be found on the poster. Two groups, Laboratory of Lactic Acid Bacteria Biotechnology and Chem Informatics and Molecular Modeling Laboratory, together with different facilities present at the Institute of Biochemistry and Biophysics Polish Academy of Science, will be involved in isolation, characterization and selection of natural lactic acid bacterial strains, production of bacterial biomass, assessment of immune responses and intestinal barrier integrity, comprehensive genomic sequencing, metagenomics and probiogenomics, metabolomic and proteomic analysis, and development of databases and machine learning predictive models. We are looking for consortium partners, including an experienced coordinator. From academia, we are looking for experts in traditional and next-generation probiotics, experts in vivo studies using suitable animal models for diseases associated with gut barrier disorders. We are looking for groups interested in conducting multi-center studies relevant to the project's scope, hopefully sometimes similar to our expertise. And we are looking for healthcare practitioners and hospitals with access to patients, with capacity for pilot human studies and clinical trials, with knowledge of regulatory pathways to facilitate clinical research. As it was previously said, we are looking for industrial partners from pharma, biotech, and AI sectors that will be engaged in production of pre- and probiotics and dietary supplements, in personalized IT services utilizing developed databases and predictive models, and in business development and marketing support to ensure commercial viability and uptake. Thank you very much, and we are looking for any kind of cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Magdalena. Thank you. If you just go off there to the left. Yeah, perfect. Our next speaker is from Insfero. I hope I pronounced that well. Could we please welcome Wolfgang onto the stage? Thank you. Hello.
Thank you very much. Well, my name is Wolfgang Moritz, and I'm representing Insfero from Switzerland. I would like to thank the organization committee to give us the opportunity to present our new innovative approach to represent population diversity in preclinical testing. Now,
sorry, Wolfgang, can you just talk into the mic there? Yeah.
Historically, patient diversity was not very well represented in clinical trials and leading eventually to unexpected side effects and liver injury. Ignoring basically demographic, genetic, or environmental factors in preclinical testing will expose patients to harmful side effects and eventually also increase the development costs. Now, we approach that problem by a stepwise structured foregoing, basically looking, probably I'm going to present you this very complex slide in a stepwise fashion, which is illustrating basically the concept behind the idea and the different objectives of the project. So we start basically by establishing diversity panels based on microtissues, which are composed of primary human donor cells, which cover a broad range of diversity traits like sex, age, and race. In addition, we will also include cells from donors which have risk factors for liver disease, which are prone for drug-induced liver injury. We run those diversity panel across a very well-curated panel of compounds, small molecule compounds, but also advanced modality therapeutics, which will then assess for their pathological signature on diversity traits, examining basically gene expression profiling, biomarker identification, and histopathology. We also try to correlate that to the clinical outcome to patients which have been treated with the same compounds. We will assess then, based on that pathological signature, also to try a multimodal correlation analysis with diversity traits to establish an AI-assisted daily prediction scoring tool, which then will help us in guiding non-interventional clinical trials, which will demonstrate whether patient stratification will indeed help to de-risk drug candidates in a preclinical setting. We will also focus on implementation needs, such as providing cryostorage solutions for assay-ready plates, but also expanding the portfolio of models by stem cell-derived models. And we will also look actually into systemic blood-derived factors and their impact on DILI susceptibility. Now, this project nicely fulfills basically the requirement of the IHI calls, especially also for Objective 2, for coming up more with more innovative healthcare solutions for drug development. I don't want to go into the details here, but basically also these two next slides highlights basically the outcome and the expected or anticipated impact of the proposed project. In a nutshell, we can say that it will create more effective and safer drugs which are applicable to a broad range of population diversity, ultimately enhancing their market viability. So the building consortium at the moment, I mean, that one which we have initially started brings a lot of expertise already in pharmacogenomics, drug safety, as well as population health. But of course, to enhance the impact of the project, we need not a little, but quite more expertise. First and foremost, basically, we're looking for a skilled project coordinator, which is capable, which is experienced in that field and capable to lead such a consortium. In addition, we also look for competencies in AI-driven analytics. But most importantly, we are looking for partners in the pharmaceutical industry who can provide access to clinical DILI data. Collaborative access to real-world data will be profound, or will profoundly enhance our understanding of drug-induced liver injury across diverse populations, and that will eventually foster also the development of safer.
Yeah, we're going to have to cut you off there, so thank you very much for this presentation.
I'm done.
Yeah, brilliant. You can leave that way. Thank you so much. You can just exit the stage that way across to the left. Thank you. And a reminder that if you do want to talk to anybody who has an idea for a project proposal during the networking breaks, they're in green lanyards, so you can spot them and pick them out easily. Our next picture is from the Hospital Clinic Barcelona Institute for Global Health. Jose, thank you.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone. Our project is called FAMBA. There is an international or global surveillance and data analytic platform for the prevention of emerging pandemics. So we're all aware that emerging infectious diseases are major global health concerns. And one of the major problems we have is that our surveillance systems are too slow, so we need really to improve them. Otherwise, think about what happened with COVID. COVID was the perfect storm that we couldn't avoid at all. I remember I was at that time at the forefront organizing the COVID response pandemic in my own hospital, and I was always thinking, we could have done things better. Something could have been avoided. And this is why we're here. I think we can do things better. And how? We want to integrate digital health, data science, nanobiosensors, market point-of-care diagnostics into a real-time surveillance and monitoring system. For what? For improving the outbreak management, so detecting earlier the new and coming, probably, emerging threats. Hopefully not, but it will come anyway. So we have gathered a multidisciplinary team that is combining experts in trouble medicine, infectious diseases, global health, nanobiosensors, and we have developed some years ago FAMBA. FAMBA was initially designed as a telemedicine platform to support international travelers while they're abroad, and it has been transformed into a digital platform that collects health, mobility, and climate data into the SAFE platform. It's called Surveillance and Forecasting System for Emerging Threats. And with that, we can do algorithms for disease prevention. On the other side, we're working on novel nanobiosensors that can be adapted into travel-adapted rapid diagnostic tests so the traveler can use it. So we can diagnose, at this moment, the main infectious diseases during travel, but in the future, we can adapt them to future emerging pandemics. So that's why we are working on this. So why we are here? We need to give a big step forward now. We want to scale up FAMBA internationally, particularly at European level, but globally also. And we need to integrate partnerships from the digital health data science world on one side, but also from the biomarker sensor development and diagnostics on the other side, particularly for this travel-related initiative. We will do what? First, scale this up. Second, predictive algorithms for disease prevention, particularly during travel for disease prevention, also for emerging infectious diseases. Second, novel and innovative nanobiosensors that can be included into travel-adapted rapid diagnostic tests. That for us is very important. And we need to scale this up. So we need to understand travelers' needs to reach as many as we can. And so they want to use and provide the data to the digital participatory system. And also we have to work together with the travel industry. For us, travel insurance companies, travel agencies, travel clinics are key to reach as many travelers as possible to fulfill the objectives of this digital participatory system. For us is important. Main outcomes. We will have a traveler-based telemedicine platform that is already ongoing. It's already working as we speak, and is designed to improve the health of international travelers. And we tend to avoid many consultations at destinations, so we're saving money both from travelers and also from the insurance companies. At the same time, we're collecting data to develop a real-time digital surveillance system for emerging infectious diseases, and at the same time, we want to implement these travel-adapted biosensors that the traveler will bring together for disease diagnosis. The moment is infectious diseases, but can be other things in the future. We have a huge market, over 700 million European travelers every year, and together with them and the different industry sectors that we will combine together, we can work together to improve disease outbreak management. Finally, our expertise is basically medical expertise, infectious disease, global health, travel medicine. We have experts in nanobiosensors, and what we're looking for is partners. Basically, someone who wants to join in this innovative business that is, besides an innovative business, is also providing an excellent platform for preventing the social, health, and economic impact of future pandemics. So these are most of the disciplines we are interested in, but of course we're not close to work with other disciplines that can, of course, contribute to this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. You can just leave to the left there. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. We've had some very interesting pitches today. I hope this continues throughout today and tomorrow. The next pitcher I would like to welcome on is from the Institute of Environmental Medicine, Helmholtz, Munich. Avidan, this floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Perseus project proposes a combined approach for both the pandemic and the endemic aspects of respiratory pathogens. So preventing a health and social crisis such as happened with COVID-19 is an unmet need that requires the integration of several technologies into a platform that will then enable both a cost-effective and patient-oriented pandemic preparedness. For that, we need to pre-establish a few things that are listed here, and I'm going to still mention. But furthermore, oops, that's something when running ahead of time.
Oh.
Can I go back? Oh,
can we go
sorry.
back?
Yeah, sorry.
No, the next one?
It's not working. Okay. It's totally running ahead of...
Oh, I'm sorry. We can keep it on the challenges and objectives slide. Is that the correct one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
somebody's keeping pressing it. Okay,
Here.
just stay there. I'm not touching it. Go backward
We can keep it on the previous one.
and don't press on it, please. Backward. Yeah,
There.
please keep it there. Okay, press one time. Yeah. But in addition to the pandemic problem, there is also a lot of still both hospitalization risk and mortality related to endemic pathogens such as both COVID and influenza, which need to be addressed, for example, with personalized treatment of clinical trials, because there's drugs, but those drugs are still not used enough. However, there are also other endemic pathogens, there's about 24 of them, and they have also a public health burden that is associated with them, but it's unknown because we and others published about this endemic pathogens in hospitalized related situation, but we don't know what happens in the population with primary symptoms and what is the association of public health burden in that population. So altogether, next please, altogether this I think fits very well specific objective 2. Now please next to the slide. Yeah, so what we want to do is to include 24,000 patients per year, and I'm talking about primary symptoms patients, with a link to hospital admission if those occur. And using that, next, we want to look at the baseline of the respiratory pathogen distribution in patients, because without that, we cannot know what happens in case of a pandemic. Next, please. And of course, to also compare it to environmental sentinels such as sewage, which is now the main thing being tested by most places, but we don't really know if those two are comparable or not. Next, please. So in preparation for if a new pandemic is coming, next, we need to detect new pathogens, and for that we are developing a novel SOP combining both targeted and non-targeted genomic diagnosis, and in this we are also looking for more contribution from industry partners. And then again, as we continue, next please, and next, we are going to look for both the sewage and the, next, this is not working, and in patient to look to detect pandemic hotspots. Next, please. But as a new side result of that, we are also going to know what's happening in the endemic respiratory pathogens, again, in the primary symptom patients. And together with a symptom diary app, we're going to know if those patients are also hospitalized, and using samples, we're going to look in the biomarkers to find biomarkers for disease severity, and so be able to predict if patients are going to become hospitalized or not. This both in the endemic pathogens, but also as preparing for a platform for if pandemics come, we're going to have a platform that is going to enable look for biomarkers for prediction of severity of disease, which was a big problem in COVID-19. So it's not only important to find which new pathogens, but also disease severity. Next, please. And then in addition, we can also look at the public health burden in terms of loss of work days and quality of life, and combine this next. I'm sorry, but it will take a few more times because there's a lot of problems.
You a few more seconds.
And therefore, allow pharma to focus on pathogens of interest, allow to do early personalized treatment, and optimize clinical and public health burden. Next, please. So altogether, those outcomes I mentioned will have an impact in allowing us to have a platform for pandemic surveillance that is both cost-effective and patient-oriented, and in parallel also optimize clinical and public health management of endemic respiratory symptoms, in particularly focus pharma on pathogens of interest and perform clinical trials for early personalized treatment. Next. It's suitable for HI. It's a large-scale project dealing with unmet public health need, and we certainly need, essentially, to have biotech industry partners and pharma industry partners involved in this project in order for it to be successful. Next, please. We have already, together with Professor Holcher from the Fraunhofer Institute of Pandemic Research, a skeleton of the consortium. We are in negotiation with a few industry partners, but as I said, looking for more. And we're also in negotiation with a few public health administration. In particular, the Ministry of Health of Bavaria is already interested in the project. Next, please. The expertise we have expertise in most fields that are needed for the project. We have already an ongoing infrastructure for pandemic surveillance in sewage, but still not in patients. And we have also other...
I'm so sorry, we're going to have to wrap up there, but I mean, do you want to show your last slide maybe
I'll show
quickly?
the last slide,
yeah.
but I really lost a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
And what we're really looking for is biotech companies for developing genomics-based platform, biotech companies developing protein biomarker discovery and point-of-care testing, and pharma companies with pipelines in respiratory infectious disease. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Avidan. Thank you, yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for that. Our next presentation is from Vito. So Dominic from Vito, if you could join me on stage, please. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Dominic Ormerod from Vito, and I'm going to be presenting a proposal that we call MELT at present. Now, this proposal is directed towards SO2, and it's designed to increase the flexibility and resilience of the European pharmaceutical supply chain and enable flexible, patient-centric production of peptides and oligonucleotides. And we do that by creating decentralized therapeutic molecule production processes that are going to reduce the economic and environmental impact, increasing sustainability and resilience. And that will also allow us to develop an on-demand, localized production of advanced personalized medicines. So the approach that we're going to use to do this is by combining solvent-stable membranes, membrane extraction, and liquid phase synthesis of these important molecules. We aim to develop a novel platform technology that is applicable to peptides and oligonucleotides that will reduce process mass intensity, decrease environmental impact, reduce production costs, create modular and flexible production units for localized production, shorten and simplify supply chains, and make orphan drugs economically attractive to industry. So why is this suitable for this kind of program? Well, it needs to be a PPP type of construction, not only because of the funding, because a single entity funding this would not be justifiable, but the PPP construction will accelerate the development due to the diverse nature of the required expertise being brought together. And we need scientific equipment manufacturers, end user companies, and either the pharmaceutical industry or scientific support services for analytical requirements. So the expected outcomes and impacts of this is this will develop a novel synthesis methodology for peptides and oligonucleotides, and we will implement this in a flexible synthesizer unit. So the inclusion of expertise along the value chain from technology developers to equipment providers and end users will ensure the fast transition from research to implementation. MELTS is designed to strengthen the European pharmaceutical industry resilience, sustainability, and competitive position by decreasing production costs of these important molecules while increasing sustainability and scalability as compared to the state of the art. How does MELTS directly affect patients? Well, we intend to have on-demand local production to solve acute supply chain problems. And we've seen examples of this within the news over the last few years. There's going to be a reduction in production costs, so orphan drugs, and then becoming accessible to the people that need them. And sustainable production of these therapeutic molecules will lower environmental impact, and that's good for everybody. So the expertise that we have are ourselves, Vito, that are membrane and membrane process experts. We're also working with a group from the University of Bologna that are European recognized peptide and oligonucleotide synthesis experts. But what we're really looking for is engineering from a synthesis unit building on possibly automation point of view, and user companies for industrial implementation studies and the needs that we need to get that and roll out, and analytical capacity and analytical expertise. And with that, I'd like to thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You can just go off the slide there. Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to give you guys a reminder when this session is over that we have meeting rooms that are available for your kind of initial consortia building meetings, if you like, and that you can use the whiteboard, which is there at the registration area, to book slots for those meetings. Okay, so our next picture then today is from the Università Politecnica della Marche. Monica, welcome on stage.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm Monica. I come from the Università Politecnica delle Marche in Italy, in Ancona, and I'm here to present here this project. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Very short project. Okay.
Sorry, maybe.
Yeah. No.
These are not your slides, right?
No. Okay, thank you, okay. The idea for this project comes from the fact that the quest for an eventful postoperative course after colorectal surgery has been pursued for long, but yet not successful. And postoperative complications, when they occur in colorectal surgery, they contribute to prolong postoperative stays. They are worsening the outcomes, the patient outcomes, and they increase the mortality rate. And among these, transthomatic leak is the most feared one, and yet the less predictable one. So to address this problem, we thought to use the upcoming technology, artificial intelligence, in order combining different types of artificial intelligence that are machine learning, generative AI, and computer vision. As you see, this project can be feasible for several core for the IHI, but we thought that this project could be fit really well in Call 2. And as I told you, and there are several met public health needs that this project can help to solve or at least to address that are a better knowledge, achieving a better knowledge of risk factor related to postoperative complication after colorectal surgery, better patient selection, both preoperative and in the postoperative course, also a better selection of the needs and of the suitable things that can be done for the patient to address the occurrence of an anastomotic leak and diminishing its sequelae, to standardize also the surgical practice and help to evaluate it, and to improve the surgical learning curve and improve the surgical performance. And what was the approach that we aim to take for this project? We aim to, as I told you, to combine several types of artificial intelligence in order to achieve the possibility to predict the occurrence of an anastomotic leak and to build a tool that can help us to properly select the patients. And how can we do that? First of all, we aim to develop a model, a machine learning model that can help us actively to leverage a big amount of data and to build at the end of it a tool, a predictive tool that is both robust, accurate, and generalizable. And then we aim to build a tool that can help us to evaluate the surgical performance and to boost the surgeon learning curve. I have to be honest, we have pilot studies that have been running to address each one of these points, and I am the principal investigator of a coming project in order to produce a pilot study for a pilot tool based on machine learning to predict anastomotic leak. And what are we seeking in an industry collaboration can help us? Of course, we need to make this tool scalable at a large scale in Europe and in the US, also because the project that I'm leading is involving 10 different centers from both Europe and US. And which are the outcomes? To build at first a good model that can predict the occurrence of an anastomotic leak, and to build a model that can evaluate the surgical performance. The impact it's huge, and of course our first aim is to improve patient outcomes. And which are the outcomes? Which are the impacts? I mean, this type of project can have an impact on several things, and I listed all of them here. But which are our expertise? I'm actually a surgeon, and I work as a surgical advisor in an high-tech company. We have a team of statisticians and artificial intelligence experts that can help us build the model, but I need this collaboration, and academic collaboration can help us to make this project scalable. And this is the additional information. As I told you, I work as a surgical advisor for an high-tech company for more than 2 years. And these are some of the papers that I've been published, and also I've been also involved in the development of the guidelines about the use of large language models in medical research. So thank you for your attention, and please collaborate with us.
Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you. You can just exit the stage there to the left. Okay. And now we have our final speaker for this session, who is from the European Association of Cardiothoracic Surgery. Please welcome on stage Paula.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for being here just before lunch. So I'm Paola, and I'm representing the European Association for Cardiothoracic Surgery. I think we are here for the first time, and we are going to present an enhanced platform, which we call the Enhanced European Cardiothoracic Surgery Data Platform. So first of all, what is the challenge? So we know all that heart and lung diseases are among the first cause of death in Europe, and that many of these patients will undergo a surgical procedure, unfortunately. If we look at advanced heart failure, then the outcome is very, very poor. So understanding how surgery is performed and managed in healthcare settings will be key to improve quality of care. We want to use data for that. So using routinely collected surgical data can provide an opportunity to inform decision-making, as well as patient management, and also research and improve clinical practice. However, despite the presence of many clinical registries and databases, the landscape is very fragmented, data quality is poor, and data are not used to the maximum potential. So our objective is to build an enhanced European cardiothoracic surgery data platform to connect European countries. We want to bring together data, cardiothoracic surgery data in particular, from different European hospitals, which is going to be quite tricky to do, and demonstrate the feasibility of multi-center data systems governed by an harmonized data access process and standardization, in particular data standardization. This will provide the foundations for federated analysis as well. So we want to inform the future and also, for instance, projects like the European health data spaces, but ultimately really create better data for better patient outcomes. So this is our approach outlined there. First of all, we need to build connections. And to do that, we need to bring together surgeons, researchers, clinical registries, and societies to really build a consensus on standards for data. Then we need to create high-quality data assets, first of all, by prioritizing what key priority data are needed in this space, and then standardizing them. Then we want to create the foundations for a connected data platform, which means that we need to identify the technical requirements for a technology platform that can enable harmonization of governance, automation, and implementation of new technologies. And then we want to, of course, demonstrate the impact, and we'll do that by delivering pilot projects using data from multiple hospitals. We have some ideas for driver projects, but would be very keen to hear from you as well. So why is this suitable for the IHI? First of all, we are addressing a key public health need, which is to improve outcomes of patients who undergo cardiothoracic surgery procedures, and then ultimately improve and inform best practice in quality of care. This will need a key private-public partnerships and a strong collaboration, and within the industry can play a key role, for instance, by providing the technical solution or facilitating that, by providing data curation expertise or mapping expertise or automation, but also supporting training, for instance. So what we expect is to have a new resource of high-quality data for cardiothoracic surgery, which to our knowledge does not exist. We want to deliver public benefit by using use cases and by getting this data used by professionals like researchers, but also clinicians. And then we want to optimize economies by connecting the systems so that there is less duplication of effort. And finally, inform the future with presenting actually a proof of concept for the European health data spaces, which will be implemented later on. This is what we bring to the table. So we have a very strong community of experts, more than 4,000 in cardiothoracic surgery, and then some expertise in data science, epidemiology. We are a big convening power. And then we're looking for industry and technology partners, looking at SMEs perhaps to provide some resources for mapping and automation, but also legal expertise and at the end, hospitals who are going to be key in providing the data to the network. So I just want to say thank you, and I'm hoping you enjoyed your lunch.
Thank you very much, Paola. Thank you very much. Just go off the side. Yeah. Perfect. So a big thank you to all of our pitchers then from these first two sessions. We are going to lunch break, but before you go to lunch, I want to remind you all that we have a new Slido. So there's a new Slido as opposed to the one that we shared this morning. So if you have burning questions throughout today, please use this Slido code, which is up here above me. And if you did send any questions in earlier on this morning, please, if you could resubmit them to this one, that would be great. And also for anyone who is pitching after lunch, if you could please go and make yourself known to my colleague Sergio, who will be on this side of the room for that session. So thank you very much, and we will see you back here at 13:45. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. I hope that you all enjoyed your lunch. Again, for this session, the pitchers are focused on topic 2, which is integrating fragmented health research and innovation efforts and developing tools data, platforms, and more to help improve disease prediction, prevention, interception, diagnosis, treatment, and management. Before we get started, I'd just like to make a few little announcements. If you are pitching for this session, please make sure that you're sitting in the reserved seating over there. That's where the pitchers will be leaving from. And also, I just want to let you know that we will be publishing all the pitches PPTs after the event on the IHI website in the events section. So I know we've been getting a few questions about that, so they will be available online on our website after the brokerage event. Again, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder that Slido is open for your questions. Up on the screen here, you can see the QR code. Please scan it. Slido is going to close at 3:30 today, so please add any of your questions in before then. So, thank you very much. Now I am going to announce our first pitcher. Our first pitcher is from the University of Luxembourg. Please welcome Venkata onto the stage.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and I would like to thank the organizers giving us the opportunity to present our project, Mechanisms of Comorbidities in Immune-Mediated Diseases via Federated Data Analysis and Modeling. So the challenge is understanding mechanisms of immune-mediated diseases. These diseases are increased medical burden, and these are systemic and heterogeneous in nature, and also overlap of genetic and environmental risks suggest these common underlying mechanisms, or what we call the comorbidities. So our first objective is to mobilize clinical and omics cohorts data from already existing ongoing EU-funded projects. And the second objective is to understand molecular mechanisms by combining these data sets and the knowledge bases via federated architecture. So our approach is the federated analysis and modeling. So currently we are involved in the couple of projects. SysKid is the H2020 finished one, and Immuniverse, Biomap, IMSAVAR is currently ongoing IHI projects which are in the final stage, and the Clinova is Luxembourg-funded projects. All these projects are focusing on the different immune-mediated diseases like IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, the psoriasis, and atopic dermatitis, and so on. This is the one side of the thing. We have these data sets are available, but they are still in silos with the varying data qualities and data curation and standardization. And also, in addition to, we have 3TR, Hippocrates also in the similar lines. On the other side, we are also involved in the projects, to IHI projects. These are the EPND and IDIRA. Both are focusing on the federated data management and analysis solutions. So our goal is to bring all these pieces together. It's kind of connecting the dots, and to further explore, to further exploit, to develop diagnostic and mechanistic biomarkers and study the comorbidities and analyze and simulate the mechanisms. So coming to the suitability, as I said, these data sets, samples, and the federated solutions are coming from mostly from IHI and IMI projects. So there is a lot of interest from both academia, industry to further exploit and to further analyze and to address some of the unmet needs yet. So coming to the very high level outcomes and impact, our goal is for the biomarker, discovery of biomarkers from these immune-mediated diseases comorbidities, and also larger scale federated analysis of these cohorts and associated molecular data coming from these diseases. And third one is federated validation of comorbidity markers. So coming to our expertise, so we have expertise in the federated data management and analysis, and also computational workflows of molecular data processing and analysis, and quite some expertise also stemming from the IMI FAIR+ project, that clinical omics data curation, harmonization, standardization, verification, and so on. and building systems biology repositories of mechanisms, what we call the disease maps. So for all these diseases, we have advanced in the disease maps area. We want to bring these pieces together. And also, we have some expertise in the data analysis and modeling of these disease processes. And what we are looking for clinical expertise across these diseases, and also the laboratory expertise to validate these biomarkers and so on. So we have posters also, if you would like to discuss for all these projects what I mentioned, and also we also have a dedicated posters for the IDIRA and EPND as well. We are very happy to discuss with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Venkata, for that. Thank you. You can just move off the left-hand side of the stage there. Okay, so our next presentation is coming from CPI, and there will actually be two from CPI. So, Roisin, would you like to come to the stage? And you can just stay afterwards and deliver your second pitch.
Okay, thank you very much. So the first topic I'd like to talk to you today about is called Advancing Processing Scale-Up and Clinical Readiness of RNA Delivery Platforms. So the main challenge that we are trying to solve is that there are many new RNA candidates being discovered and being used in novel applications. However, there are still barriers to getting these candidates into clinical trials due to factors such as cost of goods, requirements for cold chain storage, stability during alternative administrative routes, a general lack of understanding around fundamental structures, challenges in scale-up, and also regulatory barriers. So while these new candidates encompass a variety of RNA types, designs, and delivery platforms, this can require bespoke development challenges from bench to clinic. And while these challenges are openly discussed, development in these areas is currently fragmented, partly due to a complex IP space. So our approach to solving the problem is to look at the problem in its entirety. So this will focus around looking at RNA lipid nanoparticle delivery process. It will look to develop characterization techniques to provide fundamental understanding of these systems and to define specifications that can directly correlate to in vivo performance and accelerate the drug delivery development process. It will also look at how to speed up screening of candidates at small scale and how these then will correlate to scaled-up processes. Across the project as well, there will be a focus on solutions being more sustainable, such as removing needs for cold chain storage and becoming solvent-free, as well as making these therapeutics more cost-effective. There's also a need for regulatory guidance throughout the project to develop clearer guidance and understanding for the industry on RNA therapeutics. So we think this project is suitable for IHI because the RNA therapeutic space is currently fragmented, and this proposal aims to bring the industry together to work collaboratively on a solution that will benefit everyone while not developing a specific drug candidate for commercialization to avoid complex IP situations. Currently, the knowledge required to make this proposal successful sits across the industry, including with many academics. So the outcomes and impact to this project. So we would expect to see improved understanding of what early stage characterization can be indicative of in vivo performance and can be used as a consistent metrics throughout the development and scale-up processes. It will lead to cheaper, high-yielding and more sustainable development platforms from small-scale screening to large-scale manufacturing. We see that there could be improved processes to support the removal of cold chain storage and alternative administrative routes. And we would also envisage clear regulatory guidance to steer product development. So overall, we envisage that this project will facilitate quicker development of novel RNA drug candidates to bring treatments of previously untreatable diseases to patients faster. So at CPI, we have extensive expertise in process development and scale-up support for RNA and RNA delivery platforms, including lipid nanoparticles. So we also have teams that can enhance our CMC development. We have process engineers who can provide manufacturability support and perform techno-economic and life cycle analysis. And we have automation and digital teams who can increase speed and quality of development. We are also looking for academics who can provide development support and expertise. We are looking for SMEs to provide RNA and delivery platform test cases, large-scale industry partners to support the need and provide guidance for RNA therapeutic development. And also we're looking for regulatory authorities such as, say, the MHRA in the UK or the EMA to provide regulatory support. So thank you. That's the end of my first pitch.
Thank you very much, Roisin. And now Roisin has a second presentation for us. Please take the floor.
Okay, thank you. So this pitch is on behalf of my colleague, Jonathan Jones at CPI. So in this particular project, we are hoping to tackle bacterial antimicrobial resistance, while there is a need to move towards more personalized treatment of infections through better integration of diagnostics into the patient care pathway, combined with increased availability of a range of alternative treatments for tackling infectious diseases. So what we'd like to do is champion the development of innovative diagnostics and emerging therapeutics to ultimately provide an integrated suite of diagnostic therapeutic candidates to tackle specific bacterial infections. We would like to accelerate process development with modality-specific collaborators to provide guidance in areas such as regulation, digitalization, CMC, and preclinical testing. These will encompass modalities from traditional recombinant proteins, monoclonal antibodies, to phage, live biotherapeutic products, and RNA. We would also see the integration within healthcare systems across Europe. So we feel that this project is suitable for IHI because the topic of better integration of diagnostic tests with treatment plans for infections is especially suited to pre-competitive collaboration due to the complexity and interconnectivity of the challenges. To make significant progress on this systematic challenge requires collaboration across a wide range of stakeholders to address shared problems. We believe the industry can contribute by supporting novel therapeutics and diagnostics which are derived from academia, SMEs, large organizations, and translating therapeutics and diagnostics to market. So the outcomes and impacts. So the main results that are outcomes that we would envisage are precision treatments of infections with integration of diagnostics with targeted treatment, integration of the pharmaceutical sector with healthcare systems and regulators across Europe to create a roadmap for AMR therapeutics and diagnostic adoption. Reduced reliance on antibiotic use and ultimately hospitalization rates and mortality, enhanced public health and pandemic preparedness, and social benefits that would come from these outcomes, including workforce productivity. Additional benefits to patients could include improved patient outcomes, reduced speed of resistant infections through early detection and treatment, faster and more accurate diagnostics to provide early detection leading to prompt treatment, and reduction in misdiagnosis and reduced misuse of antibiotics. So expertise and resources. So we have started kind of putting together the core of consortium for this project. So we have ourselves at CPI, the MHRA providing regulatory support within the UK, University of Southampton, who have a Raman-based diagnostic for bacterial infection, and University College London, who are experts in phage manufacture and regulation. What we are looking for is organizations with emerging modalities towards prevention or treatment of antimicrobial resistance, organizations with novel diagnostic methodologies for rapid real-time identification of pathogens, organizations with digital technologies to accelerate process development of one or more AMR relevant modalities, healthcare groups within Europe, such as hospitals and clinical groups, and European regulators and surveillance groups to help us with this proposal. That's been a quick whip through my project, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Roisin. If you want to just leave across the left there. Thank you very much. It's a good time to remind you guys that if you're not already subscribed to our newsletter, that this is where you'll be the first to hear about upcoming news that might be related to Call 9. So do make sure that you subscribe. Our next picture is from the University of Helsinki. Please welcome to the floor, Kalle.
Hello, happy to pitch our proposal, Obesity 360. My name is Kalle Toivonen, and today you can find me here with Heli if you want to come and chat after my pitch about our proposal. Obesity is a challenge that needs little to no introduction. It is a complex issue that leads to significant economic costs and personal challenges. It is a challenge that requires collaboration through multiple fronts. To name a few, healthcare and pharma, food and beverage, physical activity and sleep, and technology and all the actors within these fields. We have started already to gather some of the key players to tackle this challenge together with us. Approach that we offer is simple, yet very challenging. We aim to approach obesity through 3 different pillars, starting with identification and understanding of the challenge. We already know quite a lot, but not enough about obesity, especially why and what interventions help who and for what reason. In our project, this is the first question that we aim to get better understanding. Why certain interventions work better with certain people. The second pillar that we aim to gather is data. We already have vast amounts of data available for our utilization, but at the same time, we have abundance of data sources that are not yet utilized to their full potential. It's exactly this challenge that we aim to solve during the project. While we gather understanding as to why certain interventions work the best, we also try to figure out what kind of data is still missing or not well utilized. To help us solve this challenge, we need technology providers and different data sources to be integrated in our solutions. The second pillar is then gathering that data and making sure that it's usable for our purposes, which brings us to our third pillar, that is actual personalized solutions. By understanding first which solutions work for which people, then making sure that we have enough data available and utilized, we can ensure and provide personalized solutions for anyone suffering from this challenge. It's funny to see this question because we feel that the SO2 that we are targeted was actually built on our project and not the other way around. We feel that this is the very embodiment of the SO2 target. It's a complex issue that requires vast collaboration between different actors on PPP chain. The outcomes and impacts are, of course, huge, but to mention a few key ones that we aim to target. Firstly, to drive innovation in personalized medicine. Secondly, providing a testbed for new companies, SMEs, existing companies, to build better solutions. And finally, a word that has been missing today, providing competitive advantages for European companies. As I said, we already have quite vast expertise in-house, and we have strong academic links. Today, we are especially interested in finding industry partners to provide solutions for our pillar 2 and 3, especially so the data gathering and then the actual personalized cares So those would be our priorities, but of course we're happy to have discussions with anyone. The more the merrier. This challenge requires collaboration of all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carlo. Thank you. Now, just to remind you again that Slido is open until 3:30. So if you've any questions, please get them up there before 3:30. Thank you. I would now like to welcome from Ghent University, Stéphane, to the stage.
Hello. My research group is working on improved molecular imaging systems, and in the past we've done this for preclinical imaging for small animals, and this project is actually aiming to do this for more clinical use. It's called a walkthrough PET, and I'll explain you a bit later why we want to walk through a PET scanner. First of all, I think most of you have been, at one point in your life, been close to a PET scanner or a CT scanner or an MRI scanner, and you noticed it's actually quite compact, it's a bit claustrophobic, and it takes quite a long time. And this is what we want to tackle with a walkthrough PET system. Here are our challenges and objectives. Basically, it's reducing the scan time, making the system more compact, leading to fast, high patient throughput, and we're aiming actually at only 30-second scan time. The way we do this is by looking at airport scanners, which are basically two flat panels, and we make a PET scanner which looks like this. We ask the patient to walk in, stand still, and walk out of the scanner after 30 seconds. The aim is to also reduce the personnel in the whole imaging process and also to improve the quantification by using a unique high-resolution detectors. So basically, it's a totally novel PET imaging system, the walkthrough PET, inspired by airport scanners and also having a novel patented detector technology. And the novelty here is that we actually have resolution in 3D instead of in 2D. So this enables us to bring the detectors very close to the patients. So we are already building this system. This is actually with industrial partners. So we have a network of kind of detector suppliers which can build this and have done this already before for kind of spin-offs of our group. And we also want to actually further bring this system to the market to bring it into use for clinic. There's a couple of advantages which I didn't mention yet. First of all, in PET we use radio tracers, which have actually a very short half-life. Typically, it's only a couple of hours, and this means if you scan more patients in a short time, you can actually make more efficient use of your radiation. So there's also a good link with pharma and with the radio tracer development companies. So basically, we want to create a proof of concept of this walkthrough PET. Well, now it's a prototype in our lab. And we also want to explore more new things which we don't do yet with PET imaging. So mostly nowadays we use it for cancer imaging, but with a kind of high sensitivity of this device. You could also do kind of efficient rheumatoid imaging, or maybe use it also for gastric cancer imaging, which we don't do right now yet. So basically it's a unique PET scanner design, and we will actually also lead to kind of more appreciated use by patients, but also I think by personnel and by clinicians, and having a smaller footprint inside the hospital. So what is our own expertise is mostly in the hardware and actually also in the software, so we can simulate systems, we can reconstruct images, we can build the detectors together with the industry. That's what we do already now. And we're looking more for partners bringing in this medical imaging prototype into the clinic and using it and setting up clinical studies. You can find additional information here. So this is actually a website, walkthroughpet.org, with wt-pet.org, which has more information on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Stéphane. You can just go off the left there. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite from Matical, Mario, please, if you could join me on stage here. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the organizer to give the opportunity to present ImmuneAge project to all of you. Okay, ImmuneAge. This project is called Immune Cell Imaging in Cancer Patients with AI Tools for Genomic and Phenotyping Estimation of Immunotherapy's Response in Solid Tumors. The main challenge is the following. We all know that immunotherapy is being applied with great success in some cancers, especially hematological malignancies. However, its application to solid tumors remains an unmet clinical need. ImmuneAge proposes obtaining precise information of the immune status of the tumor microenvironment and immune cell infiltrating the tumor stroma by using radiomics with pathomics and genetic correlation from standard of care widely used images like CT, MRI, PET, as complementary information to estimate the immunotherapy effect. The target cancer types candidates are the usual suspects, as you can see there: breast, lung, prostate, and colorectal. They are there in addition to being the big killers because the consortium I represent, we have previous projects with these cancer types in our target, and we have previous results in form of quality and quantity data, more than 91,000 cases, access to cancer data, and models and AI tools also for these cancer types. During ImmuneAge, we aim at achieving three main goals. You can see them there. In the short term, goal is to develop image analysis and machine learning technologies to identify patients likely to respond to immunotherapy for metastatic lung cancer, enabling more personalized treatments based on combined biomarkers. In the midterm, by combining preclinical cell tracking, radiolabeled antibodies, and quantitative imaging to assess immune responses in solid tumors, in all the tumors that we've seen before, within clinical trials, identifying the most promising treatments for regulatory approval. And finally, in the long term, ImmuneAge will support research into cell-based therapies and bispecific antibodies for solid tumors by enhancing understanding of their mechanisms, aiming to overcome current barriers and improve efficacy for future treatments. With this triple approach, ImmuneAge can provide a significant step forward in achieving available, accessible, and affordable personalized therapies for solid tumors in the future. How are we going to achieve this? You can see it here in this slide. We propose a decision support system covering the whole patient journey from diagnosis through prognosis to therapies follow-up, integrating repositories of imaging and related health data with data management, AI tools, imaging biomarkers, AI-based algorithms, advanced visualization tools, implemented explainability approaches to strengthen trust in AI. Why is ImmuneAge suitable for IHI? IHI is in its nature. It's based on a private-public collaboration. Personalized medicine will only occur and it will become standard of care only if solid, well-planned, and constant collaboration happens between public and private partners. The project is planned to be a large consortium between 15 and 20 partners, 35 million, and between 5 and 6 years duration. You can see here the main benefits expected for the project: improve knowledge of disease, diversity subtype, identify high-risk patients, identify patients most likely to respond, allow faster, less expensive drug approval, and aid in development of safer treatments, thus reducing the risk and cost of AEs. The consortium. The consortium is a mix, is a multidisciplinary consortium combining experts in oncology, AI, medical imaging, radiology, digital pathology, immunotherapy, and nuclear medicine. The PI is Dr. Luis Martí Bonmatí, is the director of the Medical Imaging Research Group of Health Institute La Fe in Spain, and he's also well known in imaging projects funded through the European Commission, through Horizon Europe mostly. The most popular and relevant one is the Future Cancer Imaging Infrastructure, UCAIM. Together with Luis, Dr. Bonmatí Group, there are other leaders from the largest and most ambitious EU projects in cancer, AI, and data, providing, as I said, data and models. We are looking for partnership with partners and...
We're going to have to ask you to wrap up there. I'm very sorry. We have a lot of pictures to get through
Thank
today.
you very much.
If you could actually exit just there to the left, that would be brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay, and I would now like to ask from CEA Leti if Caroline could join us on stage, please. Thank you, Caroline.
So, hello everyone. My name is Caroline Desvergnes and I am from CEA Leti, a world-leading RTO in France. So the proposal I want to present you today is about the strengthening of the biomanufacturing ecosystem for biotherapies. To start with a bit of context, I would like to remind that about half of the drugs that are currently under development in the world are biotherapies. So this shows the huge potential and the big hope also associated to these medicines. However, there are still challenges to be addressed to make them more accessible for European patients. And one of these challenges is that we do need to reinforce the European capacities in terms of biomanufacturing. We do need to overcome the current bottleneck of the field, and we need to shift towards more optimized, cost-effective, fast, and sustainable bioprocesses. What can be stressed also is that the European Commission is currently casting light on this need to boost the biotech and biomanufacturing sectors, and we think that it is the time to launch a new initiative to enhance the synergy between all the actors of the domain on the basis of previous and current initiatives as well. To go a bit more into the details, we would like to focus the scope of our proposal on the reinforcement of process analytical technologies that are needed to optimize the current bioprocesses. So we include all biotherapies, which means ATMPs, vaccines, antibodies, and other therapeutic proteins. And the idea is really to deliver versatile tools that can benefit to various types of biotherapies. So here you see a generic diagram of bioprocess flow with its different phases, and we would like to address them all since they require specific and different technologies with the global objective to improve the efficiency of the process thanks to better monitoring and control. On this slide, you see an illustration of the technologies that we want to include in the proposal with a selection of technologies that are from CEA Leti that we are developing and implementing in industrial environments. So you see it's mainly about analytical tools with sensors for online and at-line monitoring, and about also microfluidic approaches for automated solutions. So we have different types of solutions depending on the phases of the bioprocess I was mentioning before, for the upstream and downstream especially. And of course, we will need to add additional expertise there, also including the software part and data analysis to achieve closed-loop systems and retro-control possibilities. Of course, we will need public-private collaboration for this proposal, where we intend to deliver a real toolbox of new biomonitoring solutions that will be implemented in realistic industrial use cases led by the pharma and biotech sectors. And one key point of this proposal is really to build a strong network between all the actors of the domain. On this slide, regarding the outcomes and the impact, I won't expand them all. You have them in the proposal text. But of course, we target long-term impact for the benefits of patients first, but for the innovative ecosystem and the European competitiveness of the biomanufacturing sector as well. So what do we have? We have CLETI, of course, with the technologies that we are developing and implementing for the industry. We bring along our network of other European RTOs, especially, and industrial partners, and we benefit from our experience of ongoing projects with the pharma industry. So we have also France Biolid, which is strongly supporting this proposal. France Biolid is representing the French biopharmaceutical manufacturing industry and brings together all the actors of the French domain. So of course, we will need additional expertise, especially from FPI members. So if you are interested by the topic, please come and contact us. You have the name of my colleague here, François Charby, as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Caroline. You can exit that way. Thank you very much. Just to also mention that we do have a webinar on our website, which has been recorded, and it does have extra information about Call 9. So if you haven't checked it out already, please do check that. We will also have additional information sessions, which we will broadcast once the call is actually launched. Now, from the Faculty of Medicine at Aalborg University, I would like to welcome Rogerio. Hello.
Thank you very much.
If you just watch this way.
Oh, sorry. I did
yeah,
go.
so you can see on the screen.
Yeah, thank you. So my name is Rogerio, and I will be presenting Vitality, which is integrated the healthcare system for health aging. It's a project that's focused on impact. I've been working on this project for about a year or so. We already have some stakeholders that we are already discussing. And what I'm presenting here actually has been discussed with end users, including the older adults that would be part of this project. So we are on the second objective. And if I just go forward so you can show this figure for you, we want to change or improve the healthcare system that we have today. If you see what's happening in the entire EU today, we focus quite a lot of our activities in the right part of this plot, where we treat those old adults after they have an outcome. So, for example, if they fall, then they go to the hospital, and then we trigger all the package to treat those people. We are very good at doing that. We have good doctors, good medicines, and everything. Problem on that is that it's too expensive. A lot of resource goes in that area. What you want to do is to get these people when they are still healthy. So this is a bit of the twist. So we want to focus on the left side of this figure, where they are still okay. They are not sick at all. They didn't have any problem, and we are just trying to prevent, to screen, and do everything we can to avoid them moving to the right side. This will be then our window of actions there, where we try to just focus on three things: falls, chronic pain, and social isolation. Why these things? Because we believe that's one of the three most impactful problems that we can find in the older adults. And we try to find those versions when they are still screenable. You can still prevent, so they are healthy. But all our machine learning, AI, our tests, maybe with wearables, so here is where probably the companies can help us in this. How we make then a database, a model that we can predict who is probably moving to the right side in a month. Then we're gonna try to react to that. Then we're gonna go after the research, the best we can do in terms of prevention, training, rehabilitation, whatever it is, to avoid at all costs moving to the other side, because we think that will be cheaper. But of course, if you put the older adult in focus, nobody wants to get sick. Nobody wants to fall. Nobody wants to have a fall accident. So you can see here there's a lot of to do in terms of AI, machine learning, prediction, and prevention. And we just want to get them while they are still fresh. So there's a lot of things that I believe that I said that it is important to be pitching here for you, for the companies that could help us putting together this frame. But we think about a lot about how scalable should be. We are focusing a lot on that. Should be scalable. We have to exploit this. We're going to develop something, but the companies have to take this further when we develop the frame. So we need you, the companies, to take here the responsibility also to bring this to the next level. We need to develop, but we need to take further. So it is idea of Vitality to deliver this scalable AI-driven person-centered platform that will help all the adults when they're still healthy. And then if they get sick, what we want to do is to facilitate the continuity of care for those old adults. If they had a fall, they go to the hospital, they go to the doctor. What can we do for them in order to improve their outcome anyway? So we're gonna be doing that. I have done a lot of research, in the topic, and I put some partners together. But if you are anyways within this one that I said we have, and you are interested in talking to me about it, please join me and we can have a coffee and talk about it. I would like to really reach as much as we can, and especially if we have here policymakers. My experience is that if you guys are not with us, we cannot do a good job. We need you guys. So if you are there and you listen to me, please come and reach out to me, because I'll be very happy to pitch again the idea to you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rogerio. You can just leave the stage off that way. So thanks very much to all of our pitchers today. Rogerio, you were the last one for today. So thank you so much for all of your interesting proposals. I think we've had a lot of really fascinating ideas that have come out of today. Now you have until 5:15 to start networking and building the foundations of your future potential consortia. Before you go, I'm just going to remind you that if you want to book meetings, you have to use the whiteboard, which is at the registration area. And also that at 5:15, we'll have 3 experts from IHI on stage to answer your burning questions that you've submitted to us via Slido. Don't forget that Slido closes at 3:30. So if you have questions, please make sure that you upload them before then, and we'll have our experts on stage then to answer some of your questions. So thank you very much, and we'll see you here later. Please give a warm welcome to Elisabetta, who is our Principal Scientific Manager, Polyvius, who is our Scientific Operations Coordinator, and Gail, who is our Finance Officer. So, we are going to spend 15 minutes answering questions from the Slido, and then we're going to spend 15 minutes answering questions from the floor. If you have a question at that point, you'll need to stand up, and our host and hostesses will come to you, but I'll remind you again about that after we go through the Slido questions. Please remember as well that all of these questions and answers are specific to call 9, which is a single stage call. The rules are slightly different for 2-stage calls, so please bear that in mind. Today we're talking about single stage calls. Okay, so now I'm going to turn to our experts, and Elisabetta, the first question is for you. There were many questions on task allocation. Could you explain how tasks are divided within a project and how this works?
Okay, so today you come here with your idea, then you want to put it to reality. That means that you have to define how you want to implement all the activity that you will need to make this idea become something concrete, some deliverable, some results. So for doing that, you will have to define which activity you need to do to get there, which will be task, and then you will need to understand also which expertise you need for getting this task done. Once we have done that, of course, you will need to find then members that will be part of your consortium that collaboratively will be able to deliver this activity and therefore the task. So clearly it is a question of identifying which are the experts that will be more suitable to work together with you and create the plan together to get the idea to the results. So clearly you will need to look carefully at what you need, and some of the tasks will be done, of course, by people that will be academic, they will be maybe in hospital, but you can also have a patient organization, you can have also some regulatory expert, communication expert, etc. So you will need to think carefully all the plan of activity, the work plan that you will define because it's part of the proposal. And in this will be the task. And in the task, you will see which individual, which expert, which academic or whatever will be the best to deliver this task. And the important thing is that our projects are collaborative. So you have to think how to best create a very good complementary group of individual or partner that can work, and they have a very good expertise. They will be evaluated, of course, during the evaluation of the proposal is one of the criteria, and that they are fit for doing that task, and that you have a very good complementary consortium so that it can do whatever you want to achieve. So the clear thing is think about which plan, what you need to do to get there, and then which people you need to get the things done.
Thank you, Elisabetta. We also had a series of questions on the budget. First of all, the overall budget of the call, and secondly, how much budget should an individual project propose? So for this, Polybius, I'm going to turn to you.
Thank you, Catherine. So for the call 9, the single stage call, already you have access to the draft topic text, which is published in our website, in IHI website, where you can see there also the indicative budget, which is 118 million euro. That will be also divided across the 5 topics. Each topic is allocating a budget of that range in order to complete the 180 million euro. But please bear in mind that this is a draft budget. Final budget allocation will come as soon as we adopt our work program, and all this information will be available when we launch the call by mid-January. So for the proposal, each proposal, IHI estimates a range of contribution of funding that we can provide to the applicants. So there, this estimation shows how much IHI consider for the activities presented and the challenges presented in the topic text to be achieved. It's up to each consortium to define their budget, but please bear in mind that this budget should be connected to the challenges described in the topic text.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Polybius. Okay.
There's also some other questions for the SMEs.
So my next question here is, what is the funding scenario for public research partners, 50% like the private partners? And this one is for Gail.
Yeah, thank you, Catherine. So we expect actually public research partners to request the full reimbursement of their costs, unlike the private partners who we expect to contribute in kind to the project. So if you have, for instance, a project with 10 million total costs, we could expect that, industry partners should bring at least 4.5 million, so 45% basically of the total cost as in kind, while the rest, so 5.5 million, would be covered by IHI funding. And so indeed, Polybius was referring to the EU funding mentioned in the draft text, called text, which is the EU contribution. And this amount is so the amount of funds that can be paid by IHI, and it should actually be matched by the in-kind contribution from industry side. So, yeah, I think this answers the question.
Yeah, thank you, Gail. I actually have a few more questions for you on eligibility. So the next one is, Canada also joined the Horizon Europe program. Does this imply that Canada will also be eligible for IHI funding?
Yes. So Canada has associated to Horizon Europe, so it's eligible for receiving funding and can participate in IHI projects.
Mm-hmm. And we also had a question about UK SMEs. Can they join a consortium?
Absolutely. So they also joined as an associated country to Horizon Europe program. So they are perfectly allowed to participate in an IHI project and also allowed to receive funding if they want.
Okay. And then on eligibility, some of the presenters today, private companies, also expressed their position on in-kind contribution, indicating that they will not be in-kind contributors. How is this?
Well, so in call 9 is a single stage call, and in a single stage call, any entity is eligible for receiving funding. So from the moment they are based in the EU or based in one of the associated countries, or in one of the low and middle income countries as well. So per se, everyone can receive request and receive funding. But of course, we expect industry and that side of the consortium to contribute in kind. As I said, 45% as a minimum. And so if a private member requests funding, obviously it will decrease the part of the in-kind to the project. And also the part of funding will be lower for the other public participants in the consortium. So it's a bit a matter of discussing among the different participants in the consortium and agree on who gets what part of funding. Because in the end, as I said in the first question, you have a total costs, and part of it should come from industry, and part of it will be reimbursed by IHI. And this proportion is 45% coming from industry side as a minimum. We try to push for 50% to make sure, in case it happens anything during the project implementation, you still have the chance to reach the 45% threshold. So it's kind of security to try to target 50%.
Okay, thank you, Gail. Polybius, I'm going to go back to you then to also building on that point. How could SMEs who are not part of the private partners building co-contribution, co-funding to the IHI Call 9?
First of all, it's very important to understand that the 45% that is an eligibility criterion can come only from two contributors. First is the private members, and second, the contributing partners. If an SME is not part of the private members associations, then they, for example, can come with their contribution as a contributing partner. However, for being a contributing partner should really satisfy specific criteria, because a contributing partner should apply to the IHI governing board to be part of the project if it's selected for funding, and there it will have an assessment. So there are specific criteria. There is a guidance on contributing partners in our website. So there is a specific checklist, so you can see if you satisfy this specific criteria. But if you have questions, we will have also a contributing partners webinar end of January, so consult our website for more information about this. And yes, if an SME is not part of the private associations, first we expect them to come and request funding. If they want to contribute, the only way is to become a contributing partner with specific, to satisfy those specific criteria through an assessment process.
Thank you very much, Polybius. Okay, Elisabetta, then I'm going to turn to you. We saw many proposals lasting 5 years. Is there a minimum or a maximum for the runtime, especially since IHI will finish in 2027?
Okay, so just to say that the end of IHI doesn't mean the end of the project. It means only that we will be able to launch call probably until the end of 2026, actually. So that's not, we have already projects that go well beyond 2027, so that's not a matter. But what is important is for you to be aware that the duration of the project has to be thought in relationship of the activity that you want to implement, the results that you want to achieve, your impacts, and also, of course, it has to be related to very well with the budget, because during the evaluation, the expert that will be evaluating all the proposal will look at, they will have to look at the duration, which is therefore is not fixed, is something that is up to you to define in your proposal, and see that it makes sense, that is okay for achieving what you say that you will achieve. It is also well balanced with the budget that you require. So all the elements have to get together. The activity, the budget, the duration, so all these are connected, and you have to really very carefully consider all these elements.
Thank you very much, Elisabetta. Okay, Polybius, I have the next two questions for you. So the first one is it possible for an organization to be a partner in two proposals submitted to IHI Call 9?
Yes, of course. Applicants can participate in, let's say, multiple proposals, but it's very important before committing to different consortia, in the event that the proposals are selected for funding, you have the operational capacity and the financial capacity to undertake the specific task, because we've seen in the past cases that applicants were part of the successful proposals, but at the end they couldn't deliver per se. So when one organization is taking a decision to participate in multiple proposals, please consider carefully.
Thank you. And how many projects will be approved per strategic objective?
So like, as I mentioned before about the budget, the indicative budget, because it's very important to say it's indicative budget and the allocation per topic is still indicative. So there depends on how much money, how much funding each proposal will request, and this should be calculated against the budget that is available per topic. So imagine that in strategic objective 1, we have, let's say, 20 million euro. Then proposals will competing against this 20 million euro. So let's say the first proposal ranked will request 10 million euro, the second one 9 million euros, so there is no more money for the third one. So it's depending on how much money each proposal will be requesting against the available budget per topic.
Thank you, Polybius. Okay, Elisabetta, the final question then from Slido is for you. From the submitted ideas, some are at the early stage of research, others are more at the scalability stage. What is IHI Call 9 preferentially looking for?
Well, the answer is very question. We don't have really preference in the sense that this is an applicant-driven call. There is no TRL specification, but what is important is that you really look carefully at the specific objective and therefore the topic you want to apply, which means please read very carefully what is in the strategic research and innovation agenda, what are the output that are expected under this topic, this specific objective, what are the impacts, and also, of course, be reminded that we are there to fund pre-competitive research, which means research that is not aiming to the direct launch of a product or service into the market. So that's are the two elements that you have to consider.
Thanks very much, Elisabetta. Okay, we're now about to take some questions from the floor. You can see that we have two hosts and hostesses standing with microphones here. If you do have a question, please stand up. I see a raised hand right here. So maybe we can get a microphone over there. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Magda Rosenmüller from Jesse Business School, Barcelona. Thanks for organizing this open call. I think it's a great idea, and also this event. I have a question for the evaluation criteria. So if you would see that across the different areas that you have all of them are around cancer, and then you have this one mental health care, and they're kind of more or less the same. Would you say to have more diversity, would that be one of the evaluation criteria? Or would you say, no, we only go by the usual scientific excellence, impact implementation. So, because you don't give any hint, maybe it's related to the last question also on the strategic agenda. What about clinical areas such as mental health versus cancer, etc.? Thank you.
Thank you. So who would like to take that?
Maybe we can take it in two. So I think from the point of view of the strategic, I mean, IHI is, let's say, a bit more agnostic. That was maybe people that were working in IMI. And indeed, if there will be need to do a prioritization, of course, we will have to look and use the normal criterion, so the excellence, the impact, and not the area. I mean, there will be maybe other factors that will be coming into play.
Each topic had its own budget, so proposals submitted under a specific topic, they're competing for this budget. So now, moving across topics in terms prioritization for areas not covered is not really the case. All these criteria and how to prioritize, it will be, of course, mentioned and described in the work program, because we might have some novelties in this, but we're still under preparation. We follow exactly the Horizon Europe ones, excellence, impact, and implementation, and the prioritization is also reflected in the general annexes. But indeed, in IHI, everything is important. We try to cover almost all the areas. That's why we have also the open calls. So we move towards the Horizon Europe criteria from that perspective. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, have we any more questions from the audience? Okay, there's someone at the back. Yes, please. Brilliant. We are getting to you now in a moment.
Yeah, thank you for organizing this open discussion. I have a question regarding the contribution from the Switzerland, whether their contribution will be considered for the 45% contribution?
Okay, Gail.
Can I reply to it directly? Yeah. So yes, Swiss organization, from the moment they are private members, so part of those associations, FPA, COSIR, MedTech, Europa Bio, they are considered private members. And so if it is the case, they can contribute in kind and or financial contribution, which will count as part of the 45% contribution for the proposal. They could also potentially apply to participate as a contributing partner, as Polyvios explained. So yes, it's not because they're coming from Switzerland that they cannot bring in-kind, but they cannot request funding. They're not eligible to receive funding.
Mm-hmm.
You can act also.
Also,
that,
Elisabetta. Yeah. Sorry, go. Yeah, no, continue, Elisabetta, please.
We also have the fact that we have to be careful because there is a limit. Switzerland is considered non-EU. So when there is a consortium, you have a contribution, a maximum of 20% can be covered by non-EU contribution. So when you do the mathematics, you have to consider also this aspect.
And maybe it's a good opportunity to advertise that we'll have a financial webinar run by Gael in January, on top of the Contributing Partners webinar, on top of the Rules and Procedure webinar that, as I said, during January. So visit our website to see specifically the dates. So there, all these type of questions with specific examples on the financial aspects will be explained by Gael.
Yes, if I can just add something as well. As part of the proposal, you have, of course, the budget of the proposal, and it's detailed in an annex that you need to fill in. And in that annex, you have some calculations that are made automatically. So you have the formula for the 45%. You have the formula for the non-EU ICOP, which is calculated automatically. So based on what you fill in your budget table, automatically you will find out if you reach the eligibility threshold or not, if you are above the 20% non-EU ICOP or not.
Okay, brilliant. Any more questions from the floor? Do I see any hands? Maybe it's a time to mention that if, as Polivia said, you want to stay on top of all of our news, you may want to follow us on social media, where we will post about these things, and also our newsletter, which will keep you up to date on everything. Do we have any more questions? Any at the back? Oh. Okay. If there are no more burning questions, then I guess we can wrap up the session. We do have still a few minutes remaining, so if you are thinking of one, I'm going to give you a few more seconds, but if there are no questions, then we will start to wrap up. Okay, thank you very much then. I want to say a big thank you to our experts. Thank you very much for coming here and speaking to us today. And also a big thank you to all of our pitchers who were here today and all of our participants. I hope that you made a lot of connections today, and we hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be hearing pitches on topics 1, 3, 4, and 5. We hope that you make some more connections and that you take the first steps towards building your consortia. Thank you very much, everybody, and good evening.